Fuck that. I don't give a fuck about that. All right, what
and
about
here I
about
thought
this?
I saw it all. This is Governor Gavin Newsom's press office Twitter account. Governor Newsom is the governor of California. He is a grade A woke grifter, and in my personal opinion, he is probably right now the front runner for Democratic nominee for the presidential election.
Yeah, and he's unfortunately correct in this take, I think, in my personal opinion. Now, Gavin Newsom, so for anybody that doesn't know my opinions about Gavin Newsom, let me enlighten you, okay? Gavin Newsom is a lib, he's a liberal, he's kind of smarmy and annoying, you know, like most liberals, but anyway, let's get a few things straight. He's spineless. He is the opposite of what the Democratic Party needs right now. And so if they do pick him, I don't know. Like, I want to say if they pick him, then I fear for the future of this country. But I already fear for the future of this country. So, I don't know. Fuck it. But anyway, if they pick Gavin Newsom, it's done. It's over. It's so fucking over. Like, at this point, it's already over. But it is like nail in the coffin over if they fucking pick Gavin Newsom. If they fucking pick fucking Gavin Newsom, I'm going to fucking explode. I swear. I swear to God, man. Lord Almighty, save us.
In 2028. I know. How did we get here? Well, I'll explain it to you. It's because
Anyway, the reason I say he's spineless is look at what happened in LA. Look what happened in LA. He let ICE in. He let them run. Why? He let the fucking National Guard in. He let the Marines in. Like, what? Tell me, like, this is the resistance? This is the resistance against fascism? Gavin Newsom? Yeah, I don't think so. Also, it is my understanding, like most other, like 99% of politicians, he's pro-Israel. He's pro-Israel. Actually, I recently wrote a paragraph about Gavin Newsom. Let's read it. He is a wishy-washy liberal Zionist. He hasn't built affordable housing because he just can't win against local municipal ordinances, I guess. He allowed ICE into the state, and specifically into LA, in collaboration with the mayor. He did help increase the minimum wage to $30 an hour, which is cool. He's probably introduced other policies that I would like as well. I just want him to stop supporting the Jewish supremacist state, along with the rest of our leaders. To conclude, I want to leave you with this. You don't have to like any politician. When they put on a suit in the morning, they aren't people. They're tools for us to use. That's true, by the way. I agree with that. And then the response to that was, do we still believe that a lot of them are Zionist by choice and not being held by gunpoint? And my response was, but they're not being held at gunpoint. They're taking money from AIPAC and turning the other way. I don't know, maybe they would get JFK'd if they switch up on Israel, but Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar are still alive, so I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's my take on Gavin Newsom. He's a fucking liberal, and I don't like liberals. Okay, that's it. That's it.
His entire
I'll be right
policy
back.
anti-Trump. And it's working! So he starts tweeting bullshit, like in Trump-style tweets. I seldom watch low-rated garbage man Greg Gutfeld, but when I do, I marvel at the fake laughter and the show. It sounds like a bad laugh machine. It's so obnoxious and disgusting. Just like him, always laughing, no matter what it said. Real patriots hate it when Fox edits the tapes. Put garbage man Greg on. Fox ought to get smart and not use losers like this. Also, they shouldn't allow negative ads about me. Thank you, Governor Gavin Newsom. Now, personally, I think it's hilarious that the entire left strategy right now that actually is having any impact is literally just a copy of Trump. Their policies are terrible. Their vision for the country is terrible. They're living in anti-realism, fake world bullshit. pushing radical, extreme feminist, socialist, communist, retardist ideologies at any given point in time that they literally had to become anti-Trump, dark woke, zero substance clowns in order to reclaim their party. Even people in the comment sections are starting to notice something weird is going on with Governor Gavin Newsom. You copy Trump because you want to be Trump, but you're missing the point. Be yourself. This is weird. Bro, it's 1 a.m. Log out. You have a long day ahead. What's going on? This account is super creepy because realistically, this is an entire account just tweeting Trump shit constantly, posting memes and like Wojaks and shit. They are trying so hard to be cool and hip and epic.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of doing it better than Trump, though. Which is really fun. Like, have you seen the memes that the White House post? The clown shoes is fucking... It's cringe, bro. Cringe. Okay, when Gavin Newsom does it, though... when Gavin Newsom does it, we're up. We're up. Nah, I mean, like, obviously, I'm kidding, okay? I think it's kind of stupid. I think it is dumb, okay? It's Gavin Newsom, okay? What the fuck do you expect? The fuck do you expect from this shit, man? You see... I hate this because it's such an easy dunk for the conservatives, and anyway, it's just, but it's not even a good dunk though. Like it's like, okay, like he's doing like Trump style. Oh, he's doing Trump style tweets. You mean like he's like tweeting and talking shit about people and like calling them names and stuff and making up funny little stupid fucking nicknames for them? Like, yeah. Yeah, okay, he's doing a Trump-style tweet, I guess. I don't know. I'm not saying he's not, like, copying Trump or whatever. I'm not even saying that, like, he kind of is. Okay? I'm just saying it doesn't really fucking matter. And also, like, Trump doesn't have a fucking monopoly over that shit anyway. God damn it, I just fucked up my goddamn OBS. Wait, what the hell? Oh, it's just gone now? Okay. Oh, wait, no, it's right there. Okay. Alright. Gotcha. Wait, so I can actually... Huh. Interesting. So could I put this down here? Ah. All right, well, anyway,
and
let's continue.
What? It's kind of working. He's the front runner right now in the polls. And you know what he did to get here? Absolutely nothing. Not one good...
Yeah, I mean, it just goes to show that, like, it's very easy to like, fucking... all you gotta do is do what Gavin Newsom's doing, okay? You will become popular. That's really all it takes. Americans are very simple people.
Good policy, not one good idea, not one positive actual impact to anything he did at all. All he actually started doing is becoming viciously anti-Trump. The entire identity of the Democrat.
Yeah, I wonder why that's making him so popular right now. I don't know.
I don't know, man. It's anti-Trump, and it's hilarious. Now, I want to point out that when I say
it's hilarious, it's hilarious. People are anti-Trump
because they have not changed a thing or learned a single lesson from the open border policies that have been going on. This happened today, unfortunately. The Department of Homeland Security confirmed that ICE is seriously considering immigration enforcement at truckway stations across America. This would be a W. Again, I think we need to roll out more ICE. I get canceled every 2 days. Nux, I can't believe you don't care about the families getting deported. They should have deported themselves. Okay, they're illegal in the country. Get the fuck out. I've been super consistent, mega consistent about this. You're illegal in the country. Get out. More ICE sounds great. Even more ICE, even better. ICE everywhere, good. Your employee is an illegal immigrant that you want to fire? Call ICE. Okay, all right, that's extreme. You shouldn't be hiring illegal immigrants. This follows a criminal alien truck driver killing 3 Americans in Florida when he executed an illegal U-turn. Harjinder Singh entered the country illegally and was handed a commercial driver's license from California. Wow. He's being charged with manslaughter after killing 3 American citizens. Homeland Security...
I didn't even know you could do an illegal U-turn in Florida, like, for real. And I didn't even know that shit was possible. Was it on the interstate? Was he on an interstate when this
Spokesperson
happened?
tells me ICE enforcement at truck stops and way stations are on the table. Secretary Noman DHS keeping all enforcement options on the table to keep Americans safe. This should never have happened. 3 innocent people were killed in Florida because Gavin Newsom's California DMV issued an illegal alien a commercial driver's license. The state of California is asinine. Many more innocent people have to die before Gavin Newsom stops playing games with the safety of the American public. We pray for the victims and their families. According to trucking industry insiders, illegal aliens are rampant in a profession that, let me remind you, is really difficult for American citizens to get. But illegal immigrants, illegal aliens, invaders of our country, are really having an easy time getting these jobs, even when they are so underqualified that they make an illegal U-turn and kill 3 Americans. Now, again, I will be getting more into this in just a little bit. So here he is. He does a legal U-turn, and oopsie poopsie, he kills 3 people. And look how awkward that is. Look at that. Look at this. Oh, what an awkward looking guy. He just kind of seems piffed about it. He's piffed about it. He's not even mad he killed 3 people. He's like, oh, fuck. Oh, shit. There we go again. Oh, my God. And that's disgusting. It's horrible. It really is. Now, Gavin Newsom is busy tweeting up a storm in Trump-style tweets in order to make it look like he's contributing to the world. Dana Ding Dong Perino, never heard of her until today, is melting down because of me, Gavin C. Newsom. Vox hates that I am America's most favorite governor, ratings king, saving America. He's doing nothing. He's doing nothing. That's the funniest part. Like, I've been trying to figure out what he's doing that's getting him this praise, and it's literally nothing. He's just yapping. He's not even doing...
Yeah, anyway, the barrier to entry, I want to address a few things that he said over the last couple minutes. The barrier to entry to become a truck driver is the same for Americans as it is for illegals, or for immigrants, whether they're illegal here or not, whether they're undocumented or documented, okay? Like, the people that he's talking about, what the fuck are you saying? How do they have an advantage over American citizens when it comes to becoming a truck driver? That is crazy. That is crazy. Look, here's how it works. To become a truck driver, you have to take classes, okay? Sometimes multiple classes, sometimes maybe just one, and you have to get your CDL, okay, your commercial driver's license. It's different for every state. Other states are, like, more restrictive, but once you have a CDL, you can typically drive in any state in a truck, in a semi-truck, an 18-wheeler. If I'm not mistaken, pretty much every state will honor a commercial driver's license from any other state. So if you get one in California, you can drive anywhere. That being said, our public education in this country is abysmal. And when I say public education, most people will think of primary education, middle school, high school. But it also applies to things like this. It applies to these classes that people take to become commercially licensed. That's it. And anyway, it's not surprising. Have you ever driven on one of our roads? Truck drivers do stupid shit all the time that almost get me killed. One time, this was like a year and a half ago, if even, a truck driver didn't see me and ran me off the road. I did something kind of stupid, okay? Because what happened was I was driving beside the truck. I was passing him. And I wasn't passing him slowly. Like, I was just, like, doing my normal thing. I was, like, passing a truck driver. I used my turn signal, okay? I guess I was in his blind spot. I mean, I feel like I was, at this point, when he started merging into my lane, the lane that I was in, I was already, like, almost halfway past him. Like, I just needed to keep driving straight for, like, probably another 5 to 8 seconds, and I would have been done passing him. Okay, because if you're passing a semi-truck and you're going around 5 to 10 miles per hour faster than them, you will pass them within just a few seconds. So I was basically almost done passing him, and he, like, merges, and I was, like, right in the middle of his truck, as in, I could have braked hard, and I might have, like, gone... Like, I was basically in the worst spot that I possibly could have been for him to start merging. Okay, but he didn't see me. He starts merging. I honked at him, and he still didn't fucking see me. He kept creeping towards me, and I was like, fuck. And I think in the moment I thought that maybe something was going on in his lane that I didn't see, and maybe he was like getting out of the way for them. But anyway, that's not what was happening. There was nothing going on. He just didn't see me. He just didn't fucking see me. And anyway, instead of letting him hit me like I probably should have, I went off the road, and I slammed on my brakes, and anyway, I just like tumbled in the fucking grass. But anyway, I was fine. My car was fine. It didn't fucking matter. Fucking stupid ass semi-truck drivers. Okay, but that's the thing. Like, a lot of them are stupid. I'm not saying that every semi-truck driver is bad at their job and they're like terrible drivers, but like, let's be real, a lot of them are fucking stupid as a consequence of our shitty education. Our shitty education that shittily educates them. And it sucks, okay? It sucks. I don't like it. I want it to change. But this is the reality. And anyway, immigrants are not like any dumber, I don't think, than I mean, maybe like the language barrier makes the education even worse for them, but I don't even know if that's fucking true. Okay, because the education just sucks. If that's the baseline, if the baseline is the education is shit and it's garbage and that's it, then what the fuck? How am I supposed to come to the conclusion that you're coming to about immigrants being like evil and stupid and getting a free pass or whatever? Like, you're fucking dumb. You're dumb, Nux.
Well, I mean, except for giving driver's license to illegal immigrants that are killing people, I think the blood of these people are on the hands of the fucking trash at the government that is giving licenses to people they can't drive, and people that are illegal in the country that don't know the rules, they can't even read the signs. We're gonna get to this later. They don't
can't even read the signs. Can't even read the signs. Look, when he's talking about the signs, okay, the signs on the road in America are somewhat hard to read because they're in the stupid fucking what's it called, the not metric system, the fucking system that I've been using my whole life. I can't fucking remember it. Okay, the system of measurement we use, it sucks. It's stupid. Inches, feet, miles. Why I don't like it. It's so dumb. Okay, anyway, it doesn't fucking matter. Like the signs still aren't that hard to read. Okay, it says 70 on the sign. Guess what? The speed limit is fucking 70. Okay, that's it. It's not that hard for an immigrant to understand. Okay, and then you might say, well, like, some signs have words on them. Yeah, it's like usually exit or gas, lodging, whatever the fuck, is at this exit. Like, that's it. The name of towns and stuff. Yeah, you'll see that. You don't need to have you don't even really need to be fluent in English to read these signs. Like, you just don't. Okay, I don't think that's the problem, man. I don't think that's the problem that is facing immigrant truck drivers. I think the only problem facing immigrant truck drivers is the same problem that regular truck drivers face, which is poor education. Poor educational outcomes.
This was uncovered later, so we will get there in just a couple of minutes. But I have to show you the crazy psyop that's going on in regard to Gavin Newsom, because it's not just the libtard freaks that are supporting Gavin Newsom, because, again, they're retarded. All right, my opinion is, if you are a far left person, you are a retard or a terrorist. All right, it is, or you're a woman with a nose ring on TikTok. Right, it is one of those three options. There are no other options. And if you are a retard, terrorist, woman on TikTok with a nose ring, then Gavin Newsom is the person for you. Now, what surprised me is when it turns out other people also got involved in the pro Newsom wave. The Groypers, Nick Fuentes' audience of white supremacists are on Gavin Newsom's side here. So,
his audience of white supremacists? What does that make your audience, man? Are they like you just made a video and I just released a video covering it about how your whiteness is like superior or whatever. Your Western values are superior. The fuck are you talking about, man? That's the same shit Nick Fuentes says. He says literally the exact same thing. So you agree with that? You agree with the white supremacy takes that he has, but not, let me guess, not the anti-Israel takes, not the anti-Semitic takes that he has. You don't agree with that. But all the other racism, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Oh yeah.
Young Putin, all right, as you can see if you click on Young Putin's profile, right, he has Kanye West and Nick Fuentes on his fucking profile picture, constantly tweeting about J.D. Vance and stuff because Nick Fuentes' new arc is that he doesn't like J.D. Vance. So, because, you know, Trump likes Israel, Israel has Jews, and he hates Jews. So that's kind of how it comes together. I've done a video on Nick Fuentes in the past if you want to see. It's good. Now, to be honest, I don't hate Nick Fuentes. I know a lot of people think that I hate him just because, well, I am Jewish and he wants to kill Jews, like he said many times. I don't hate Nick Fuentes. I actually respect his authenticity, even though I think he's a retard. You know, at least he's not a grifter. He might be a retard, but I don't think he's a grifter. So, Gavin Newsom versus J.D. Vance in high school. Young Putin says, big time, followed by Nick Fuentes, big Nick Fuentes fan. Gavin Newsom over here, looking all epic and sexy, and J.D. Vance over here in a really awkward picture. What a nerd! What a nerd! So this was them in high school. Now, to be honest, I'll be real. Just my perspective, obviously you have every right to disagree. This is like the quintessential high school douche, alright? This dude is just, he's reading a paper, trying to look sexy, and he's probably an asshole. This is the picture that assholes take of themselves, alright? Like, this is like Drake and Josh, where J.D. Vance is Josh, and the asshole is Drake. He's Gavin Newsom. And this is just a random picture that wasn't, like, posed for or anything. Ironically, just a dude having a good time. Again, this is my perspective. I actually don't care. I'm not a big fan of, like, the phenotype shit that I know a lot of, like, the red pill guys do these days. They're like, oh, he looks sexy, which means he's awesome, or something like that. But then again, obviously Nick Fuentes is into this because he's gay. He's streamed gay porn by accident several times, and you know he claims he was hacked by the Israeli intelligence community that put gay porn on his stream. Unlikely, unlikely if you ask me. But hey, listen, this is Nick Fuentes.
I didn't even know about that. That's crazy work.
All right, now you see this side by side over here. You have the Chad, Gavin Newsom, and the Virgin, J.D. Vance, in high school. Now, let's not forget that when it comes to Western values, this was one of the funniest lines ever said on the race for governor of California.
The question is very simple, ladies and gentlemen. If you can't trust Gavin with his best friend's wife, how can you trust him with your state?
Yeah, he slept with his best friend's wife. It was really awkward. He made like a whole public apology. He was like, oopsie poopsie. That was awkward. No one likes to remember that. That was something. Yeah, anyway, let's not talk about that. And they kept cooking him. You can't trust him with his friend's wife. How can you trust him with the state? And here they kept cooking him because, you know, LA is kind of a shithole right now. San Francisco's kind of a shithole. Homeless people everywhere on the streets, drugs everywhere, shit everywhere. So, anyway.
This is a map of San Francisco.
This is the governor of Florida talking about what's going on in San Francisco.
There's a lot of plots on that. You may be asking,
what is
that plotting?
What's the plotting?
Well, this is an app where they plot the human feces that are found on the streets of San Francisco.
Awkward.
You see how almost the whole thing is covered because that is what has happened in one of the previous greatest cities this country's ever had. Human feces is now a fact of life, except when a dictator comes to town.
This is the twist, all right? It's not that they can't clean the city. It's that they don't clean the city. So when a communist dictator from China came to San Francisco, suspiciously, the city was spotless because, you know, they have to show respect to their communist masters.
Then they cleaned up the streets. They lined the streets with Chinese flags. They didn't put American flags there. Cleaned everything
America.
up. So they're willing to do it for a communist dictator, but they're not willing to do it for their own people.
And I mean, this is just one example of millions. They weren't putting out fires. They had more genders in California than working fire hydrants to put out fires. They had protests in LA burning cop cars and shit like that. Dude, it's a nightmare. It's an actual fucking nightmare in California. It's hell world there. And Gavin Newsom is in charge. Now the irony is,
dude, they took up one block. It's so funny to me when they try to say it was like hell on earth. It was like hell on earth, dude. First of all, you don't even fucking believe in hell. You don't even fucking believe in hell, idiot. Secondly, they were taking up like one block. No, I'm sorry, they were taking up like 4 blocks, I think. Like 4 blocks in total. We're talking about a city that is comprised of hundreds, if not over 1,000 blocks of city. There's like many blocks. Okay, they took up like 4. It might not have even been that many. I think it might have been like 2. I don't know. It was like in the single digits. It's so fucking crazy to me.
Of course, as I've already said, your favorite terrorist, retard, women on Twitter, on TikTok with nose rings, they all love Gavin Newsom because obviously Trump bad, and he is embodying the Trump bad syndrome right now. But suspiciously enough, Gavin Newsom retweets, I missed that scarf, retweeting a groiper, a Nick Fuentes white supremacist. Hi, this is absolute cinema. This is the greatest timeline. It really is. It's fucking hilarious. The horseshoe theory is converging, guys. The horseshoe theory is so real. It's unbelievable. Far right and far left are identical right now. This is diabolical. Now, again, I consider myself chaotic neutral, even though I'm definitely a lot more on the right in like basically every issue, from social to you know, basically having borders. Unlike Gavin Newsom, who wants every illegal immigrant to be in the country. Now, interestingly enough, is the quote tweets went crazy. Gavin Newsom versus J.D. Vance after high school graduation. Coked out douche loser. Someone who actually went to the Marines. Yeah, and you can be like, oh well, his face is chubby. That's like the big argument. You'll see. We're gonna show you some people saying, oh, he was chubby. I don't know, man. This says everything. This says fucking everything about the person's character, in my opinion. Now, Gavin Newsom's dad was the personal attorney for the billionaire Getty family. They gave young Gavin money to start a winery in Napa. J.D. Vance grew up in a broke broken, drug-addicted home in the Rust Belt. He joined the Marines to pay for college. These guys are not comparable. I completely agree. Again, I like J.D. Vance personally. I don't have anything against him. I think he's pretty good. But, like, how could you possibly compare him to Gruesome Newsom, Gavin Newsom? Dude is a nightmare. Nepo baby nightmare. Unbelievable. J.D. Vance made something of himself. No, it's crazy. It's absolutely insane. Let's just say I like Gavin Newsom. I hate Gavin Newsom more than I like J.D. Vance.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem with like this whole bootstraps thing. Sometimes people that come from humble beginnings are just terrible people, and sometimes people that come from very privileged beginnings are, like, maybe not good people, but, like, relatively good people. Like, when you compare Gavin Newsom to J.D. Vance, yeah, obviously Gavin Newsom looks like a fucking saint. Okay, but anyway, J.D. Vance, it's true, he did come from a drug-addicted home by his own admission. Okay, I don't think he would lie about that. He came from poverty. He came from, you know, a home that had drugs in it, and people were using it. I believe his mother. But anyway, it's crazy to me that like you know you would you would think that this means J.D. Vance is like a you know, oh, he's like a good person. He's so humble. He's so. J.D. Vance was able to he became elevated to the current position that he's in because of his collaboration with the architects of Palantir, which is a company that is about to, or is currently, spying on every American. Okay, like, what I'm saying is, J.D. Vance reached the position that he's in now because he sold out the rest of us. He sold us like cattle to the highest bidder. like J.D. Vance is a real scumbag. He is a real piece of shit. And anyway, on the other hand, Gavin Newsom, not a great guy either, in my opinion, but not anywhere near on that same level of evil. He's just not. He's just fucking not. Okay, and anyway, Gavin Newsom is like a mediocre evil. He's like the regular legacy Democrat evil. He's a Zionist, whatever. Or Zionist sympathizer, at least. Whatever. Anyway, Gavin Newsom did certainly come from, like, privilege and whatever. It doesn't mean that he's, like, a worse person than J.D. Vance. Let's just keep going.
I don't know Vance enough to have, like, some sort of in-depth opinion on the guy. So far, I think he's been doing pretty well as the vice president. Every time I hear him speak, I'm impressed. Every time he goes on a podcast, I'm impressed. And then you get Gavin Newsom over there, who's like, trans people should enter women's bathrooms.
Seriously, that is something important. We need to release those. Like, I was referencing an interview that Vance had with Theo Vaughn, and it's like, yeah, okay, you like the things he says, except it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter, because just like Trump, I think that JD will say one thing, turn around, do another. Okay, of course he will. But really, like, for the most part, I think JD is just going to say whatever and then do mostly nothing, except help Palantir. Okay, that's probably all he's going to be doing for the next 4 years. Is aiding and abetting in Palantir's plan to, like, mind control every American with MK Ultra or some shit. I don't know. But anyway, J.D. Vance is just going to say empty things with no substance, like, we're going to release the Epstein files, and you, of course, predictably, eat that shit up, you fucking moron.
And then Trump won by a wide margin. He's like, well, actually, I don't know about women's bathrooms. Maybe that's going too far. Yeah, absolute drifting shitbag. It's unreal. So, again, I don't judge Gavin Newsom on his sexy scarf. You know what I do judge him on? I judge him on the fact that his state is a wasteland, hellhole, shit pile. That is what I judge Gavin Newsom on. Absolutely. Bro, this dude is trying to become the president in 2028. It is unreal. And he's turning his entire state, a glorious state, a former glorious state, one of the beautiful ones, into an actual shit pile. Gavin Newsom cleaned up San Francisco for a Chinese president. Donald Trump cleaned up Washington, D.C. for the American people. They are not the same. This is a great tweet. Crime was rampant in Washington, D.C. to the point that it was literally, I'm not exaggerating, the #1 most violent crime riddled capital cities of any country in the world, including the third world shitholes everywhere. Washington, D.C. was more dangerous for violent crimes by more than double than the second place. I've covered this in a previous video, so I'm not going to do it again. And of course, Gavin Newsom said when Trump did that.
That obviously isn't true. It's just fucking not true. It just isn't. Okay, I don't fucking believe it. And anyway, even if it was, why would that be a bad thing? Why would that be a bad thing? If what I'm saying is, if any city in America were to be ridden with crime, and I were to choose which city it was, of course it would fucking be DC. Yeah, they should have to fucking deal with it. Our shitty representatives that sell us out to the highest bidder, take money under the table, turn a blind eye to atrocities, they should suffer. They should suffer. Of any American, they deserve it the most. So yeah, I mean, if Washington D.C. is truly ridden with crime, which it isn't, then fuck them. Fuck them. They fucking deserve it. Okay, and I know that most people in D.C. are just normal people. Okay, they're not our representatives. They're just like regular citizens. Get them out of there. Get them out. Like, come on. Basically what I'm saying is we have this scenario where like maybe DC has more crime than most American cities. Sure. I would be willing to concede to that. I think that that's pretty accurate, actually. I think a lot of the crime that we're talking about here is visual poverty. Like, look at this fucking photo that he presents here. Okay, what is going on in this picture? Do you see crime in this picture? I don't see any crime. I don't see any crimes happening in this picture. All I see is homelessness. All I see is poverty. That's it. What people see, this picture obviously isn't DC, okay, but what people think of as crime is really just visual poverty. It's homelessness. There are a large number of homeless people in Washington, D.C. And people seem to think that wherever homeless people are, crime follows, but that's not true. Crime is everywhere, and homelessness doesn't really necessarily facilitate crime. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. And anyway, even if it does, there's still two separate things. And, anyway, let's just keep watching this shit.
The president in 2028. It is unreal. And he's turning his entire state, a glorious state, a former glorious state, one of the beautiful ones, into an actual shit pile. Gavin Newsom cleaned up San Francisco for a Chinese president. Donald Trump cleaned up Washington, D.C. for the American people. They are not the same. This is a great tweet. Crime was rampant in Washington, D.C. to the point that...
I wish... Sometimes, the thing is, I kind of wish this shit was true. I wish that Washington, D.C. were rampant with crime. I wish they all had to suffer through that. All of our Congress people, all of our senators... I wish that it was like Gotham City over there. It's just not. It's just not. Out of anywhere in the country, like I said, they deserve it the most. They do. But anyway, it's just not the case, okay? People living in tents is not the same as crimes happening. It just isn't. There is a large number of homeless people in D.C., and that's where these claims are coming from. Okay, that's it. At that and fucking Big Balls got punched in the nose like a
and I'm not
bitch.
exaggerating, the
Got
number
fucking
one
blood
most
everywhere,
violent
like a
crime
pussy.
riddled capital cities of any country in the world, including the third world shitholes everywhere. Washington, D.C. was more dangerous for violent crimes by more than double than the second place. I've covered this in a previous video, so I'm not going to do it again. And of course, Gavin Newsom said when Trump did that. Gavin Newsom said, he's a dictator, he's a fascist, he's sending in the military to clean up the streets, he's sending in the military. Anyway, crimes down. Over the last 4 days, there were basically no crimes because he actually activated the military, he activated the police force. Told them to
there were no crimes. There were no crimes.
Only arrest the criminals if they're white and don't pay taxes. Or do pay taxes, but if they're white, or if they're black, but then they let them go half the time. Toss up a coin, depending on how woke the judge is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm gonna get canceled for this. I don't care. Anyway, the point is, I actually believe in law and order, so this shit's a nightmare. So anyway, this is Nick Fuentes. All right, Nick Fuentes is a right-wing guy. He is anti-immigration. He is anti-communism. He is anti-socialism. He's pro-capitalism. But he hates Jews, and Trump likes Jews. So there's a reason why, suspiciously.
I like it how you pretend like those things don't go hand in hand with each other. Like Jew hatred doesn't literally go hand in hand with right-wing politics. You fucking moron.
Suspiciously, there's a reason why all of a sudden Gavin Newsom is getting some fame, he's getting some glory, some headlines because he's tweeting like Trump. He's doing the Trump tweet thing.
They were National Socialists. They were National Socialists.
Started glazing Newsom.
They were doing socialism.
He's talking about a diverse democracy, right? He's talking about diversity. He's talking about all the things that he hates. He
Liberal or conservative? Question mark.
Okay.
You're asking me what my political affiliations are? Neither. I'm too extreme for either designation. What about you, KHPN? What are you conservative or liberal? What about you, man?
Chad, Gavin Newsom.
Hey, my bad. You sent that 7 minutes ago. I didn't see it.
Conceivable and imaginable difference. But the thing we pride ourselves most on is that we believe the future.
If you don't like Gavin Newsom, you're kind of like gay. I just don't know what to tell you. Like,
yeah, this is projection. He's gay. Nick Fuentes is gay. Nick Fuentes is rooting for Gavin Newsom because he's sexually attracted to him. That's my opinion. Otherwise, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, dude. It's so sad because everyone was calling.
Too extreme. What are you then? I personally identify as a communist. That's just me personally. I get that we communists, we get a bad rap a lot of the time. But it's a hill that I'm willing to die on, okay? I will defend my communist principles to the bitter end. And furthermore, I am an American. I was born in here. I was raised up in this bitch. And there have been some great American communists of the past. We have historically been persecuted, of course, and anyway, there basically is no communism in America. There's very little momentum from the Communist Party itself. But anyway, some communists in this country believe that the ACP is a sham, and I sort of agree. But I still like that the party exists, and I think it should. But anyway, I'm a communist. That's it.
Nick Fuentes a Fed earlier, and I defended him. I said I don't think he's a Fed.
That would be far left, or that yes, that would be far left. That would be about as far left as it gets, I believe. Yeah. If you want to learn more about what communism is, of course you can ask me questions. But there is some literature you could read or have it read to you by a robot or something. But what I recommend is Das Kapital, which is spelled like capital, Supporter of Stalin, or no, I don't know. I'm not a Stalin supporter. No, man. There have been communist leaders that I don't like. There have been communist leaders that I do like. It's just they're people that are pro-capitalism. They have leaders that they like. They have capitalist leaders that they don't like. It's just the same thing. Communist leaders that you do like, that would be Lenin. Lenin would be one of them. He wasn't the leader of the USSR for very long, because he had 2 brain aneurysms or something, and he died. Rest in peace. But Lenin was based, okay? I will defend him. I will defend motherfucking Lenin. And he was really cool. He's an interesting guy. I love talking about him. But anyway, I'm also a fan of Mao, of Ho Chi Minh. Ho Chi Minh, who was the leader of North Vietnam. He mobilized the Viet Cong to like overthrow the oppressive government that was there. Look, all of these people that I'm talking about, they weren't perfect people. They did make mistakes. They weren't the same as like Stalin, though. Like they weren't like evil like Stalin was. Like Stalin did a lot of fucked up shit. Okay, and when I mentioned somebody like Mao, a lot of people will be like, "Oh, well, like wasn't he like evil? Didn't he do evil things?" And it's like not so much, not really. No, he did cause a famine on accident. I think it was an accident, me personally. But they had this initiative to kill pests in China. And the idea was that they wanted to kill all the sparrows, along with rats and mosquitoes, and some other pest. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. They wanted to kill all the sparrows because they observed the sparrows eating their crops. So they start killing the birds, but it turns out that the birds were actually eating bugs that were eating the plants. And so then the bug population got out of control and ate their crops, and it caused a massive famine. Oopsie. That's why I say, when I tell this story, Mao Zedong, he wasn't a smart man, but he was like Hank Hill. He was like the Hank Hill. If you've ever seen King of the Hill. Okay, Mao was like a Chinese Hank Hill back then in the 1950s. But yeah, I mean those are the leaders that I like. There are other communist leaders that are all right. But yeah, a few other. I know you aren't a fan of Stalin, but was the Holodomor on purpose or accident? I may be familiar with what that is off the top of my head. I don't know what you're referring to, so I will look it up. Holodomor, also known as the Ukrainian famine, was a mass famine in the Soviet Ukraine from 32 to 30. Oh, yeah. So it's hard to say with this specifically. I would say probably intentional, for multiple reasons. Number one, the Ukrainians were all too sympathetic to Nazis for the Russians liking. And anyway, there was obviously a lot of history between Ukraine and Russia before then. But, okay, so basically what I'm saying is Ukraine and Russia have been enemies for a very long time. And the Ukrainians sided somewhat with the Nazis because of that relationship with Russia and Russia's, stance on Nazism. And this is when the war was starting to develop. Okay, obviously it wasn't happening yet when this famine started, but I think that Russia probably kind of, saw it coming and was like... But anyway, it doesn't really take Nazism for Russia to be brutal to Ukraine. Like the USSR was like that to Ukraine because that's the way the Soviets have always treated Ukrainians. Again, it's not it's not like communist countries are like these perfect utopian societies like they try to be. They often, they always fall short of that. Of course they do. And that's all that leftists say when we say that there has been no true communism. That's what we're saying. And then people are like, oh, you just think you could do it better. You just think you could do it better. Like, no, man. Like, there hasn't been a society yet that, actually institutes communism. They're all attempting, like, all of these communist countries have just attempted to get there. They've just attempted to get to the point where they could actually have an equitable distribution of wealth, a classless, moneyless society. But yeah, anyway, Stalin was a terrible person. And not just because of what he did to Ukrainians, okay? Also because of his anti-Semitic beliefs, the purges, the killings. I guess part of me kind of understands why he was so like anxious all the time, like paranoid. That's the word I was thinking of. I kind of understand why he was as paranoid as he was. It still doesn't excuse the mass killings. Are you a fan of Russia now? No. No, not at all. They're invading a sovereign nation. Hell no. Hell no. They're invading Ukraine. And anyway, they're not communist anymore. So they were back when they were trying to do communism. I like that. That was based. Okay, now hell no. Hell no. They're invading a sovereign nation. They're not communist. They are categorically not communist. They're an oligarchy. They've been an oligarchy for a long time. And it is in my opinion, a reflection of what our society may turn into here in America, and already is turning into. Don't most communists view Russia in a good light, though? No. No, not now, Russia. Not Russia of right now. Hell no. No, communist, people like me, I think most of us look back at the old Russia, the old USSR, and, some of us are hyper fixated on it or obsessed with it or whatever, and it wasn't perfect. The Soviet Union wasn't, and it went through a lot of changes. I think that at the beginning of the USSR, it was a time of strife and tribulation, but it was also a time of flourishment. You have to understand that Russia, it industrialized extremely quickly. Like, they went from being a country comprised mostly of farmers to I don't think they industrialized quite as fast as China did in the later decades, but they did very quickly. And anyway, at the start of the USSR, right at the beginning, you had an increased initiative to industrialize, and you had a more equitable distribution of wealth in the form of social safety nets and welfare programs. And so you saw a lot of people in Russia be elevated in their material conditions. They became, more well off. They lived more comfortably. So that is the thing about these various communist societies that people like me look at with sincere positivity. Like, we like to see stuff like that. And it doesn't always last. In Russia's case, Lenin died and Stalin took over, and that was pretty that fucking sucked for multiple reasons, mainly because Stalin favored the 5-year plan. And even if Stalin had been brutal and evil, if he just hadn't been dumb, he wouldn't have fucked up the country as much. He was also just stupid, and he had bad ideas. Fair enough. What do you think of Infrared Haas and Jackson Hinkle? Wow. Yeah, that is. I've reacted to his stuff before. I don't know if you know who I am, and maybe you came in here because of that. But yeah. Anyway, the reason I say that is I've inserted myself in other communities that I think are bigoted or racist in some way, and I try to start fights with people in these communities. I try to start arguments, and that actually directly led me to finding out who Infrared Haas was, and I already knew who Jackson Hinkle was, of course, but anyway, I think that both of those people, I'm suspicious of them, as I am suspicious of anybody that is like them, that claims to uphold communist values. At the same time, and you know they're they're doing what they're doing. Look, I don't think that MAGA communism was good. I just don't. I think it was stupid. I think it was short-sighted. And it just doesn't work. Like, it's never worked. Communists of the past have tried stuff like that. And you shouldn't do it. You shouldn't take a slogan from a Nazi affiliated group or just straight up a Nazi group and like try to like take it back or whatever. Like, it's dumb. It doesn't work. It's kind of like you're trying to trick people, and when you're a communist, you shouldn't be trying to just trick people with fucking especially MAGA chuds, okay? Because yeah, MAGA people, they might be kind of dumb, they might be a little stupid, but they're gonna see through that, and it's not gonna work. Like, it's not gonna resonate with them. It's not gonna do anything other than maybe piss them off. So, I don't like MAGA communism. I do think that Jackson Hinkle is a person that has real convictions, I'm sure, and while I don't always agree with their methods, I respect their position with the ACP and whatnot. I don't know. Haas is like he's mostly a content creator, and I don't see them. See, the problem with Haas and Jackson Hinkle that I have is that they seem to be in the mindset of, they're like, okay, we want to change people's minds. Like, no, I'm not. That is one thing that we should try to do as communists, but it's not the main prerogative. What we should be doing is mobilizing people. Okay, I've talked about this before, and I'll talk about it again, I'm sure. But this is what Hassan has been saying for years, and I'm a longtime Hassan watcher. Okay, I don't watch him as much anymore because I do my own streams and I do my own political commentary. But I agree with Hassan on probably like 99.9% of the shit I've ever heard him talk about. And when it comes to this specifically, this is like the most important thing. You know, people need to be mobilized. We need people going to protest, especially now. We need people going to protest. We need people speaking out. That is getting people to do that is the most important thing. It's not about changing the minds of fucking MAGA chuds or whatever. Like, I could give a fuck if a Republican is like racist or whatever. Like, what's important is that you have retaliation to that racism. I could be wrong, but it sounded like you almost think they are feds. No, I don't think they're feds. I mean, I don't know, maybe, probably not. What, you think it's like a honeypot situation? Nah, I don't think so. I don't think the feds are really interested in doing that. I think what the feds are mostly doing is defending Israel. That's it. Like, the intelligence community, the feds, that's mainly what they're doing right now. I don't think that they are, like, trying to indoctrinate people with MAGA communism, man. I don't think that's what's
He's
happening.
promoting the #1 frontrunner against the Republicans. What is going on? What is happening? Dude, the world is so entertaining. Why do you need fiction when reality is literally so much better?
If you look at a handsome, sociopathic, tall, white man who, like, clearly has contempt for, like, those around him, and you don't like him because he's a Democrat, crap. Like, there's something wrong with you. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, I don't dislike him because he's a Democrat. I dislike him because he's a fake, grifting fuck that doesn't stand on any of his values, that has closed down the borders, that has given infinite asylum to illegal immigrants, whose state is giving out driver's licenses to illegal people in the country that can't even drive or read English. The fact that he is not helping his own state, cleaning the streets, taking down criminals, arresting people that should be arrested. I care because I think it's pretty bad moral character to go out there cheating on your wife, to go out there grifting everywhere he possibly can. He has tried to suck up to literally everyone. The California fires was going on and he was sitting on his ass with zero working fire.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care about these things that Nux is talking about. I don't care that he fucking cheated on his wife, okay? Does it make him a bad person? Yeah. Yes. Is it the reason that I don't want him to be president? No, I could give a fuck about that. If Gavin Newsom were, like, the candidate that I want him to be, then I wouldn't give a fuck about him cheating on his wife or, like, anything. I mean, maybe I would care about it a little bit. I'd certainly care about it more than I do now, but, like, it's nothing, okay? It just, like, I feel bad for his wife, if that's the case. I haven't really looked into the evidence. I have heard it before. I just don't care. I don't care
because he was scared to kill the smelt fish, a type of fish that he lives in California. He didn't want to reroute water to
and
stop his
also,
own people.
also, Chatter, I don't know if you were here when I was, like, talking about this video and what they were talking about here as it relates to immigrants and them receiving their commercial driver's license. But just so you're aware, just in case that you didn't hear me say this, because this is the main point about this video I want to fucking drive home, is that they are not giving CDLs to immigrants. Like, the barrier to entry to get your CDL is not lower if you're a fucking immigrant. That is insanity. Like, whether you're an immigrant or you're an American citizen, you have to take the same classes, you have to pass the same fucking test. It has nothing to do with being a fucking immigrant. It is crazy that he's trying to spin it like it is. It is simply an education issue. It is all about education. Even though it's not as obvious with something like this. Because, like, oh, what does education have to do with truck driving? Well, it has literally everything to do with truck driving. You have to educate people on how to drive semi-trucks. So, when you look at your public schools, your elementary school, your middle, your high schools, and they all are shitty, guess what else is going to be shitty? Oh yeah, the certification process of like educating someone to use a semi-truck. It's also going to suck.
From burning alive
anyway,
because he was afraid of killing the smelt fish.
It's because they're brown. It's because there's a brown person.
Yeah, if you like Gavin Newsom,
they just gave him a CDL. They hand them out like candy to brown people. Yeah, man.
He may be tall, white, and sociopathic with a beautiful white family and rich.
A white family and rich. I see.
Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you're retarded. You are gay. I don't know what to say.
Got him.
But he's a Democrat. Okay, and people say they're like white nationalists, and then they look at a like successful white guy and they're like, but he's a Democrat.
So are you a fan of China though? I'd say I'm a fan. I'd say I'm a fan of China. I don't agree with everything about China, and look, I love talking about fucking China. Okay, all leftists fucking love talking about China, especially right now, because China's success has never been more obvious than it is right now. And of course, who is running the Chinese government? Oh yeah, it's the Communist Party. It's the Chinese Communist Party, the CCP. Yeah, I wonder why China is doing so well. Anyway, I'll talk about China a little bit. I'll talk about, firstly, just like with any other, I assume you're American or like a Westerner. So just like whenever I'm talking to any other Westerner, I'll start with the things that I don't like about China, Chatter. And that is I don't like that they don't have freedom of speech. Yes, that's right. I'm a freedom of speech lover. And it's true, okay? I say it like it's a joke, but, like, one of the main things I like about the country that I live in, that I was born in and raised in, is freedom of speech. I think that freedom of speech is probably our most important constitutionally protected right, but I don't know. But the other ones are also extremely important, so it's hard to say. But what I love about America is our Constitution. Okay, we're a constitutional republic. The Constitution outlines limits on our government, and then the courts, they interpret those limitations to see like where the lines are drawn in the material reality. And anyway, in America, we have freedom of speech. We have a right to due process, allegedly. We have the 22nd Amendment as well. The president is violating all of those amendments that I just mentioned, and he has joked about, like revoking the 19th as well. Oh well, I guess. But anyway, China, they don't have freedom of speech. You will be arrested if you talk shit about the party. keep in mind, though, that disagreements are allowed within the party. So as long as you are loyal to the party and you say you're loyal to the party, and as long as you don't get in the way of their main mission, which is to maintain social order, social cohesion. This is what the CCP claims is their main prerogative, is to maintain social order. As long as you don't get in the way of that, then you can say whatever you want outside of that. Again, it's not free speech. I don't like that. I want free speech in China. I want free speech everywhere, as well as all the other rights that we have. But anyway, China certainly has they have pros that America doesn't have. Okay, they have there are positive things about China that we don't have in America, that we should look at China and we should try to incorporate the good things that they're doing into our society. What are these things? Well, let's start with the Chinese party. The Chinese Communist Party is communist, okay? And their main goal above anything else is to, again, maintain the social cohesion and to elevate the material conditions of their people as much as they feasibly can. Now, in previous decades, China has used the cheap labor of their population as a launch pad to launch themselves into the economic stratosphere and fucking make a bunch of money for their economy. So they use their cheap labor to build factories, outsource American companies, and get them to bring their manufacturing to China and incentivize other countries to follow suit. And they've done that successfully. They have built things for African countries. They've built infrastructure to make money and build relationships. And these are the things that have elevated their society to the point where we're at now, where we're seeing all these mega cities, all this cool stuff in China that we don't have here. Okay, yada yada. Now, America, in contrast to China, what is America doing? America is starting wars with other countries. We're selling them weapons. Okay, it's you can see the business model here. We start wars. Okay, we get people to fight. We sell both sides weapons. And then when our people, Americans, when they start to notice, oh hey, we're doing all this shit, we're starting these conflicts, then we're suddenly all about peace, okay? But then while we're trying to make peace with the two guys that are fighting, we're also over here and we're making these two other guys start fighting. So it's just this cycle over and over again of making money for the arms manufacturers in our country. That is our country's main export, is weapons, arms manufacturing. That's how we make our money. Okay, and anyway, that is what is causing all of these issues, this litany of problems that we are facing in our country. Okay, we're doubling down on arms manufacturing. We're doubling down on drilling for oil and using oil and not using renewable energy, which is destroying our climate. And a country like China is actually investing in, solar technology. They basically control. And by the way, this is why we're not going solar in America. I know we have solar farms, we have all this shit, but China controls everything when it comes to manufacturing solar panels. And I'm not just talking about the factories. I'm talking about the minerals that need to be mined. They own the mines. They own every part of building a solar panel. They own everything. They even have a foothold, a monopoly over aluminum, for framing aluminum. That's for building the housing that these solar panels are stored in. It's crazy. Thoughts on the claim that China/Russia are basically colonizing Africa under the surface? I disagree with it. I disagree with it entirely. If you understand what colonialism is, then you'll understand why that's not what's happening. Now, when it comes to Russia in Africa, I'm a little less familiar with that. You may need to elaborate, like, specifically. I'm not sure what Russia is doing in Africa. Of course, they are, like, Russia is an imperialist force. They are literally invading another country right now. So, like, yeah, they are doing imperialism, which is, you know, kind of what colonization is. But the claim that China is colonizing Africa, it is just not true. It's just not true. Okay, they have made deals with African nations to build infrastructure, which these African countries are paying off. Okay, and you can call that what you want. You can say that that's like extortion or whatever. I look at it as a business deal. Okay, China does this thing. Africa pays them for it over the course of several years. And in the meantime, Africa gets to use that infrastructure while they're paying them off, and they can use it to make more money, to elevate the lives of their people. I see nothing wrong with that. In contrast, what colonization is, like the Western colonization of Africa of the 19th and 20th century, is brutal. It is ethnic cleansing. That's what it is. We didn't. It's not like we went to Africa, and by we I mean like Western nations. It's not like we went to Africa, and like made these deals and built stuff for them and asked for them to pay us back in return. That's not what happened. We went there. We planted our flag, and we said, "This is our land now. You belong to us. Your land belongs to us." That's what happened in all of these, like, Western colonies in Africa. We were bringing civility to the savages. That's how it worked. So, no, I don't consider it colonizing. I do consider colonization to be colonizing. Like, what we did was colonizing. What they're doing, I don't think so much. Maybe I'm ignorant. Maybe I don't know about something that China is currently doing right now, or Russia. But yeah, I don't see it as the same thing, basically. But anyway, back to Gavin Newsom.
You're the worst white nationalist ever.
Yeah, yikes. Again, personally, I don't judge people based on who they fuck as much as I base someone based on the actual content of their character. Also, based on who they fuck. And he fucked his friend's wife. Dude, zero redeeming features in my opinion. I think you can be a shitty guy no matter what nationality or race you're from. Sorry to say it, if this offends you, this is absolutely insane. He is watching a clip of Gavin Newsom talking about multiculturalism, and he's like, based because he has a white family, we support Gavin Newsom, he's awesome. Holy fucking shit, this is clown world. And Nick Fuentes keeps going. I'm not going to probably show you this entire clip, but this is essentially him comparing Gavin Newsom's white family with beautiful genes to J.D. Vance's brown family because his wife is Indian.
You got a better look. This is Gavin Newsom's family, okay? Now, this is who the Republicans want you to think is literally the devil.
I don't want to say literally the devil because I actually have a lot more, personally, I have a lot more faith than you, actually, and I don't just label people the devil. But anyway, what is absolutely diabolical is the fact that everyone is trying to now whitewash Gavin Newsom. Like, this is happening at the very top.
Okay, this guy is Satan. This guy is evil. This guy is woke.
What do you mean, whitewash? Gavin Newsom, what the fuck does he think whitewashing means? Does he think it literally means, like, making him seem more white? Like, you don't need to... First of all, you don't need to do that. Gavin Newsom is obviously a white person. A white person. What the fuck do you mean by whitewashing? I legitimately don't... I don't understand what he was trying to communicate here. I don't know. Anyway,
let in millions
let's
of
just
illegal
keep
immigrants that he gave asylum to that have killed white Americans. He is woke. He is. Yeah, true.
He is a left-wing socialist.
True. I don't know about Muslim, but he is a left-wing socialist.
Radical Muslim socialist like Barack Obama. But,
So what's the difference between Obama and Newsom? Because Newsom is more woke than Obama. Obama actually deported a metric fuck ton of people. Obama deported more people than Trump. So Newsom is way more.
Obama bombed a fucking children's hospital. I say this all the time. He bombed let me repeat that. Obama bombed a fucking children's hospital in 2015. Do the Chinese/China have something to do with drugs coming across the border? Probably not. I don't know. I don't really care. about that. I just don't. Okay, if anybody has anything to do with the drug problem in America that we don't typically suspect is part of the problem, it would be our own intelligence community, man. It would be the CIA. Okay, like I totally believe. I'm not saying that China isn't involved with getting drugs in America. Okay, I can see how it would even benefit them. I can see how it would benefit them to cripple America, to get us all addicted to drugs or whatever. Because our country, America, has sanctioned the fuck out of China. We've had multiple trade wars with them in the past because they're communist, because they're evil communist. We've attempted to, and somewhat successfully, block them out of trading with the rest of the world. And anyway, I don't blame them for like trying to sabotage us. I just don't. Like we've been sabotaging them for many, many decades. But anyway, and I'm not even saying that they are definitely doing that, or like that it's like totally good. It's like, what I'm saying is it's somewhat justified for them to do that. I don't like that they're doing that, if they're doing that. But anyway, I've seen no evidence that the Chinese are getting drugs into America. I have seen evidence, however, that the CIA has sold drugs to Americans, and that they have intentionally done this to create a drug problem. And I see that as even more nefarious because they're doing it to their own people. The CIA is made up of Americans, and they are doing this to Americans. So, if the Chinese are doing it to Americans, like, that's like, that sucks, fuck them. But like, it's definitely more understandable. Like, like what the fuck does the CIA have to? Why the fuck are they doing that? I wonder. Yeah, I wonder who they're selling the drugs to. If you don't know what I'm talking about, by the way, man, look into the Iran-Contra scandal in America. Okay, basically what happened is in the 80s there was Cold War drama. We fought the commies inside Nicaragua. Our friends were the Contras. Freedom was their mantra, so we sent them lots of money for guns and landmines. But Congress stopped the Contra money flow because the Contras were selling blow. Okay? And they were selling a lot of it. Okay? And a lot of it just went missing when the FBI seized it. Yeah, I don't know. We burned it. We destroyed it. Yeah, man. Yeah. So you don't know if they are, but if they are just getting their payback. No, I don't really see it as payback. And again, I'm not saying that they are, but I'm saying that if they are, it's not that it's payback. It's that it's like, imagine if our country, if there were another country that existed, okay, like from our perspective, from America, no country like this exists. But imagine there was a country that was constantly antagonizing us, constantly, never stopping, and they block us out of trade. They successfully sanction us. They just try to fuck us over at every step of the way, every turn, because of our ideology or whatever. Okay, imagine that is the case. Wouldn't it make sense for us to utilize our intelligence community to, cripple them so that they can't be doing that anymore? Like, I'm saying if China is doing this, it's for somewhat justified, practical reasons. But the reason that I don't think that they're doing this necessarily, even though it would make sense for them to, is because they just don't need to. Like, they just don't. They don't need to cripple us. They're already on top, okay? They already are winning. I think that I think that a lot of Americans are in denial about this, but we are no longer number one. We're no longer country number one. Okay? It's fucking China. Look at their cities. Look at their infrastructure. Just look at it. Look at all the money that they got. Like, China is up. America is down. That is just a fact, in my opinion. Not in my opinion. That is just a fucking fact. Like, look at it. Look at it. But anyway, I think that they largely just don't really give a fuck what we're doing. Like, they're gonna be successful no matter what. They just are. Like, they have, against all odds, they have put themselves in the position that they're in. And it is because the Chinese government has stopped at nothing. They have even at the expense of their own people, they have elevated their conditions. Like, they subjected their own constituents to exploitative labor practices just so that they could accumulate some capital and then distribute it to their people. That's what they did. And if you think I'm lying, if you think like, oh, that's not actually what they did, they're not actually like sharing it with their people, I implore you to consider looking at their billionaires. Okay, look at our billionaires and look at China's billionaires. And you'll notice that China executes a lot of their billionaires and then seizes their assets and then puts it back to the people. They give it back to the people. That's how it works. Anyway, let's keep watching.
Then Obama. Oh, but he's white and Obama's black. Oh, never mind. I figured it out. I figured it out, guys. Took me a second. I figured it out.
Right off the bat, we could just make some observations. You know, he's white. He's tall. He's handsome. His wife is also white. She's tall. She's good looking.
I just have to say the fact that Nick Fuentes says that Gavin Newsom is tall and handsome and his wife is good looking. Like, bro is not meeting the gay allegations, brother. No.
Yeah. Dude. Nick Fuentes is so closeted. He has to be. Look, he's not going to beat the allegations. He was hanging out with Destiny. Most of us have seen the video. Okay, like, come on,
and they're all white.
Bro,
with blue eyes
and
hair.
he's so homophobic too. Like Nick Fuentes is super homophobic. So yeah, he's fucking gay. Okay, he's gotta be. He's gotta be. It always be them motherfuckers.
State, our beautiful land, their beautiful blood, and our beautiful land in America. If only there was somebody to combine those things.
Oh my God.
They're beautiful.
And he is okay. Listen, man. I'm not trying to appeal to the to the Nick Fuentes archetype here. It seems, but dude, he is diluting the white blood in the land. He is like the super pro-immigration, anti-deportation guy. It's so crazy. It is so diabolical to watch this unfolding in real time. No, it's absolutely insane.
Genetics, their genes. Weren't Republicans just talking about genes? Look at these beautiful genes.
Dude, he is entertaining.
These beautiful on display. And look at our beautiful land.
Right.
And look at the beautiful landscape, our beautiful soil.
Right. Look at it.
All for us.
Well, and multiculturalism, and anyone that wants to hop over the
and the brown people. Ugh.
Separated from the world by two oceans that we control, and those beautiful genes that conquered and tamed it. It's really.
I'm gonna hit you with a massive twist that I don't think Nick Fuentes knows about. Gavin Newsom's wife and all of his children are Jewish. So get ready over the next couple of days, couple of weeks, everything is gonna turn around. All right, just say it right now. A lot of people don't know this. In fact, a lot of people, I'm not sure.
I don't even think he's wrong about this shit.
Therefore, all of his kids are Jewish. So the beautiful genes that tamed the land, not really super present. But hey, don't they look white? So shut up. It doesn't matter.
Sight to behold. This is our enemy, they say. Now here's the other image. This is our fearless leader, the entity known as J.D. Vance, the entity known as J.D. Hamill. Since the last operating system update is now J.D. Vance. This is his family. Now let's make some observations here.
All right. What do we have to say?
So this is our fearless leader, the entity known as J.D. Vance.
Right. There he is.
He's fat.
Oh my God.
Okay, he's visibly...
Oh my
We'll just
God.
zoom in here just so you can get a better look. He's visibly obese and very ugly.
Okay.
He's got a fat face, no jawline, no chin, and he's quite...
I mean, someone saying he has multiple chins.
He's not obese, dude.
Ugly. He had to grow a beard because his face was so ugly. The Ozempic didn't even help. Let's make some other observations. His wife and kids are not white.
He's not on Ozempic, I don't think. I mean, I could be wrong. I've been wrong about that before, I think. But nah, people on Ozempic, they have a look to that. They look like walking corpses, okay? Like J.D. Vance, I'm not saying he looks good, but he doesn't look like that. Medically, he is obese. Yeah, see, I've heard that before too. I don't think so. Man. What are the parameters that make someone obese? What are those parameters? That's not rhetorical. I don't know, but I don't think he's obese. I just don't think that he would be categorically obese. Yeah, man boobs. Yeah, Yeah, sure.
Okay?
I didn't notice, but now that he
no,
says it, I see it.
Whether I'm white, people say,
I mean, you're not. Your name is Fuentes. You're literally a gay Mexican man.
if your last name's Fuentes, are you white?
He's
Maybe
born
I
in
am, but I'm
Ohio.
not. I know this is definitely not white, okay?
True.
Brown skin, black
True.
hair, a Hindic phenotype.
Yeah. So anyway, he keeps going about this for a while. This is the level of political analysis that I expect, honestly, that I appreciate. This is something I'd love to see. And even his own people, the Groypers, right? This is
You literally did this exact same thing yesterday. You were looking at a market in Italy and you were like, oh, look at all these gross brown people here. Why aren't they white? Why isn't it white people in Italy? Oh my god, brown people are taking over Italy. Like, you were literally doing this exact same thing yesterday. What the fuck are you talking about? He's racist, and you okay, and you're not?
Or what? Everyone's so confused. Everyone's like so confused. They don't even know what to say. But don't worry, guys, because Gavin Newsom's wife, Jennifer Siebel Newsom, first partner of California, he doesn't even call her a wife. He's so woke he doesn't call his wife his wife. He says it's his partner, first partner, not first lady, first partner. Bro, literally, these people are like actual retard, anti-family retards, like your classic, far left fucking losers. Classic. Now this is hilarious. This is absolutely diabolical. So he is promoting Gavin Newsom now because he's white and his wife is Jewish. I mean, white, and kids are Jewish. I mean, white. So therefore, he appreciates them, and this is the psyop that's going on right now. This is getting lots of views. So these are more of his Groyper people. Gavin Newsom is Catholic. J.D. Vance is Jewish. Actually, J.D. Vance is Catholic. When he visited Israel, he went to the holiest site in Israel to show respect. This is not a conversion to Judaism. I don't know if anyone knows the rules. Also, in case you were unaware, this is the Pope. The Pope, the most Catholic guy ever. Also going to the wall. The wall is literally, it's a fragment of the temple. It is part of Christian heritage as well as Jewish heritage, as far as I'm aware. And also, it's honestly symbolic at this point to go pray to God, who, by the way, is everywhere. I don't know what they teach in Nick Fuentes school, but
yeah, and look, the reason that people talk about like J.D. Vance doing that shit, he doesn't give a fuck about any of that. He doesn't give a fuck about any of that. I doubt, and it's easy to say this as a person who's religious, but like I doubt the authenticity of J.D. Vance's like religious affiliations. Okay, I kind of doubt that he's like truly a believer in Christianity. Okay, like you have to admit that probably a lot of these motherfuckers in politics are just lying about it, because a majority of Americans are Christian. So that's it. Okay. Anyway, that being said, I don't think that J.D. Vance went to the wall because he's a Christian. I think, hot take here, I think he did it because of his relationship with the ethno-state that is Israel. And that's why most of our politicians go and do this. Okay, it's not because they're good little Christians respecting the Holy Land. They are bending the knee to this Jewish supremacist ethno-state. That's it. That's what's happening. That is our point.
You pray at the wall to show respect, to pray to God. Why not? Nothing wrong with that. And Gavin Newsom, this is him with the Pope, who also went to the wall. So this is kind of third-hand contact with the wall. Now, the irony is, Gavin Newsom's children are literally Jewish.
What do you think of anarchism? Could it work? So I have a limited understanding of anarchism. I do understand what it posits, I think, which is that there just needs to be a total dissolution of the hierarchy, and the dismantling of our institutions is preferable over the continuity of them, and like reforming them from the inside, like basically destroying our racist institutions is a better alternative than trying to change them from inside the system. And I sort of agree with that. It depends on the institution that we're talking about. When it comes to like police brutality and racism in police, I think that makes a strong case for abolishing police departments, right? But a lot of Americans won't be on board with that because of visual poverty, because of homelessness, because of perceived crime, right? With all of these issues, when it comes to like dismantling these institutions, we have to think about like solving some other issues first. So like I think that before we can dismantle the police, we should probably look into solving homelessness, because without visual poverty, which most Americans associate with crime, it will be a lot easier to accomplish that, to convince Americans, like, maybe we don't need as much police, maybe we don't need all this, like there aren't even any homeless people on the street, so and you might be thinking, well, how the fuck do we solve homelessness? That's like a real big problem. Right? And the answer is to give them houses, to give them places to live. That's literally it. We have more empty homes in this country than people who are homeless. We could give them all a house. Okay? And even if we needed to build new homes, right? So like I've done the math, and homes are expensive to build, right? And there are 600,000 homeless people in this country. But I have estimated that if you build enough homes for every homeless person, if you build them all brand new, it would cost several $billions. Okay, but it would still be in the single digits of billions. And we spend $1 trillion. Okay, that is a million billions. We spend $1 trillion. Or I'm sorry, that's a hundred. That's 100 billions. My bad. Or no. That's 1,000 billions. Big brain, big J-star brain. That is 1,000 billions. We spend $1,000 billion on the military every year. They just upped it to $1 trillion. So it would be a small fraction of our defense. I put defense in quotations. It would be a small budget of our defense budget. Or be a small fraction of our defense budget to build a home for literally every single homeless person in the country. A brand new home. So we could house them all. We have the ability to do it. And furthermore, we've literally done it before. We did it less than 5 years ago when COVID was happening. All of these big cities were housing their homeless populations to limit the spread of the virus. And it worked. It was highly successful. But when COVID was over, they just put them all back on the street. That was it. Okay? They put them in hotels. Will racism always exist, even in a communist society? Yeah, sure. I think that communist societies, sometimes they tolerate, it depends on the society. Sometimes they tolerate racism. Most of the time, they don't. Okay, like in communist Russia, in the USSR, famously, they didn't tolerate any kind of racism at all. Like, and it was like one of their biggest flexes. They would talk about it quite often. Like, there was this thing like, in Russia they would be like, well, we have bread lines, we have some starvation happening, but we don't lynch black people. This is real propaganda that they made. They made like posters of this shit. Like, yeah, we might have our own problems, but we aren't lynching black people. That was their way of like flexing on America. And they were right. Like yeah, they had their problems, but they weren't lynching black people. So,
Newsom's
like,
is literally Jewish.
That's
so, like,
it.
They're making this whole argument that, well, Vance is Jewish, so we can't trust him because he touched the wall.
But to answer your question, yes, racism can and has existed in communist societies and in societies that where like the government purports communism, they want to institute communism. Racism has and will exist in those societies, and furthermore, even in communist Russia, there were racists. Okay, they were sent to re-education camps, or even worse, Siberia. If you were particularly unlucky or particularly racist, they'd send you to Siberia. Okay, that is a long time tradition in Russia, is sending undesirables to Siberia, because Siberia is like, from what I've read, it is like one of the worst places to live on the planet. Okay, it's hot and humid in the summer, tons of mosquitoes, and in the winter it is brutally cold. So, yeah. Anyway,
Newsom,
here we go.
can trust him, even though he's literally married a Jew. And also travels to Israel to show support and stuff like that. Like I literally, I don't even know what they're doing. I don't even know if they know what they're doing. It's diabolical. Guys, JD Vance is an Indian family. Is it Newsom so based? Gavin Newsom reports illegal.
Yeah, and like it's kind of confusing because Gavin Newsom is like he's not like anti-Israel. Like why is Fuentes glazing his white savior Gavin Newsom so much when he himself is like not much less pro-Zionist than someone like JD Vance? It just I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me either.
Yeah, just yesterday.
But whatever.
Breaking news. Absolutely fucking horrible shit.
Nick Fuentes is falling apart.
The PSYOP is so crazy right now. So, obviously, this is that young Putin guy, that same guy that started this whole trend. Keep ignoring the obvious. If a Democrat were to come out against H-1Bs, they would be to the right of Trump on the issue, right? Talking about how H-1B visas, those are basically people, people that are imported from other countries.
If you're like a classic neo-Nazi, you know, if you're like a trad conservative Jew hater, then you are very disillusioned by the current administration. Which, if you are one of these people, you're likely a supporter of this administration. You likely advocated for it, just like Nick Fuentes did. Nick Fuentes celebrated when Trump got elected. He was pro-Trump in the most recent election. But now, it's like I don't understand because Trump was always pro-Israel. He was always pro-Israel. He never wasn't. So, like, I don't know. It's confusing, but, like, then again, we're talking about Nazis here, man. They aren't exactly, you know, the most logically consistent in their thinking.
To work here. And he's saying that if Democrats were to come out against H-1Bs, they would be on the right of Trump.
Not
Vance
anymore,
is against
anyway.
H-1Bs. They're literally promoting the opposition to what they're fighting for because his wife is white. These people are retarded. These people are like actually retarded. Now, if you want to know my opinion, instead of just the basic logic here, this is my stance kind of on the entire issue on the whole race mixing thing. There are 613 commandments in the Bible, okay, as well as moral commandments. It never mentions anything about race mixing at all. Again, if you personally want to marry someone so that your kids look like you, I have nothing but respect for you. You do whatever you want, whatever makes you happy. Hell yeah, sure. You should be proud of your heritage, your ethnicity, absolutely all that, 100%. But to demonize people because they did something that is by every single moral system correct, I think is insane. And honestly, a little bit satanic. It really is. To try to make a mountain out of a molehill like this and destroy somebody is absolutely insane. I think.
I think that what he's talking about here is like, you know, racial purity. Okay, taking a stance against interracial marriage. Even making a stance like that in your personal life is wrong. Okay, if you're going to say like, oh, I'm white, I'm going to marry white people, or I'm black, I'm going to marry black people. It's wrong no matter what. Like, it's wrong no matter who's doing it and for whatever reason. And it is a personal choice. Like, I can't stop you from doing it. But yeah, I mean, if you like refuse to engage in an interracial relationship because like you want to keep your blood pure or whatever, that's shitty. That sucks. Like, stop fucking doing that. You know, like anyway, it's particularly true with white people because of our history of white supremacy in this country. But I acknowledge that there are people like Dr. Umar, who is a black supremacist that is like anti-interracial marriage. Okay, and anyway, I like that being said, I support historically black nationalist groups like the Black Panthers. I think that they were based. Even the Nation of Islam to some extent. Okay, not, you know, like it. If we're gonna talk about Farrakhan, okay, yeah, that guy was a real piece of shit. But anyway, a person like Dr. Umar, like Farrakhan, they are like their rhetoric is equally as abhorrent and also harmful to all people, to black people, to white people. Like this whole like anti-race mixing thing, anti-interracial marriage, it harms white people, it harms black people, it harms everyone. It doesn't harm everyone equally, obviously, but But it just sucks. Like, that's why I say no one should do it, no matter
More
what.
important is if you share values with somebody, you share a religion with somebody, you share your values with somebody. I think that is so much more important than the superficial aspects. That's just my perspective. However,
Okay.
I get the perspective. I just think that you people are retarded. Now, I have to get back to this because I think this just happened today and it's absolutely insane. Ron DeSantis says he should have never been in our country in the first place. Talking about this person who
Sometimes Nux comes very close to, and I say this all the time, he comes very close to the truth, to the correct answer.
Getting only 2 of the 12 answers right and identifying only 1 out of 4
Fucking
highway
conservatives,
traffic
man.
signs. It was also discovered that WA and
crazy.
CA in California issued Singh a commercial driver's license despite not being eligible for it. They are literally bending over backwards to create loopholes legally to give commercial driver's licenses, state-issued commercial driver's licenses to illegal immigrants, aliens, invaders. Authorities in New Mexico also failed to issue ELP tests when Singh was stopped there for speeding. So you have to
Evil
realize what's going on.
invaders.
This is a guy, this is a dude, and this is such a fucking tragedy. This is a guy who doesn't speak English, who can't read the street signs. Who's
Yeah,
not eligible
dude.
for
Yeah, dude. He can't read the street signs. He can't. Yeah, man. It's so fucking difficult to read street signs. Like, you need a professional and a thorough understanding of English to read fucking street signs. Anyway, like, I've already talked about this. I'm not gonna, like, go on the whole spiel again. But again, it's just like the idea that they're handing out these CDLs to immigrants, specifically to immigrants, like fucking candy, is so delusional. Once again, I don't even know what to say anymore. Like, this is just more white supremacy, racist bullshit from Nux. Okay, like, it's getting worse. I feel like it's getting worse. I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe it's always been this bad, but I feel like recently, like just within the last few days, he's been putting out videos that are just more overtly white supremacist. It's crazy.
Who got into the country illegal. He's not allowed to be in the country. He got in. He got a license. He got a license for commercial use from the actual California government. Gave it to him personally, despite the fact that he failed everything. He was pulled over for speeding. They saw that he doesn't have an American license. He does not have the eligibility to actually be in the country, let alone driving our trucks on our roads. And they let him off the hook because you look like a racist if you arrest an illegal immigrant. These people are the enemy of America. And then this dude goes out and kills 3 people.
No, man, they probably let him go because of a lack of evidence, because he has a fucking CDL, and he could be like a permanent resident in California. I don't know. I haven't looked at this guy's papers or whatever. I haven't looked at all of his fucking papers. But typically, when they let people go like this, it's because they don't have the grounds to charge them with anything. That's it. Like, people are always talking about, oh, like, they let them go, they let the immigrant go, they let the evil immigrant go. Like, no, we don't just... Our judicial system doesn't work that way. It doesn't just let people go when there is evidence against them that they committed a crime. When they've been charged with a crime, when people are charged with a crime and they go to court to have a hearing about that crime, the evidence is presented and a decision is made. That's it. That's what fucking happens. Okay, if there is little evidence, then they will let them go. And that's it. Okay, and anyway, California does specifically protect undocumented people historically. Okay, historically. Not so much anymore with the most recent administration, but, you know, they do try to, like, not fucking brutally deport somebody just because their papers expired or whatever.
The most
That's it.
shit ever. So, to quote Asmonbald, everyone's favorite Lord of Nurgle.
Whenever something bad happens, if the first thing that you think of is it's the Jews with their weather machines again, you need to go lay down.
He's bitten.
You've got to go lay down. Go lay down until you can get that under control, man.
True.
Whenever...
No lies detected. No lies detected. If it's your first thought every time, that's crazy. And realistically, the fact that...
Yeah, and who is talking about Jewish weather machines? Who is the only person within our body of representatives who unironically believes that Jews have weather-controlling machines? Oh yeah, it's Marjorie Taylor Greene, a Trump Republican, a forever Trump Republican. Oh yeah, that's who it... I wonder why that is. Yeah. Oh, I'm Nuxanor. That's the party that I support. I support the fucking Jewish weather machine conspiracy party. Yeah. Yeah, because I'm so... I'm so... I'm such a justice warrior against anti-Semitism.
That is the
me Nuxanor.
Analysis. Now, what's so crazy is, like, the only people that support Gavin Newsom are the retards on the right and the retards on the left.
Yeah, me Nuxanor, I fight the evil, terrorist-supporting anti-Semites, and that's why And that's why I'm in the same boat as Marjorie Taylor Greene, who believes in fucking Jewish weather
center
machines.
And right of center think he's a complete fraud,
Moron.
bitch, and they're all right. So Decoy Voice just made a video talking about this because it does lead back to Gavin Newsom, and I feel like we need to talk about that.
This trucker CDL situation is getting so scary.
I hate this guy's voice. I hate the way he talks. I hate his, like, intonation. But they keep watching him. They keep, particularly the right-wing VTubers, okay? Every time I watch a Nuxanor or a Sorry video, there's a 50-50 chance. More so with Asari. You know, Asari watches this guy a lot. Whatever his name is,
The
Decoy.
ultra-left Reddit is starting to sound like the MAGA movement.
Correct. Realistically, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again, we are living in a timeline where I do think Trump won by a landslide. Let me remind you, all 7 swing states. Popular vote, all 7 swing states.
Yeah, he won multiple swing states by a margin of error of like a couple thousand votes. A couple thousand votes. We're talking about states that have millions of voters. And Trump won. So the idea that he won by a landslide is just literally insane. And even if you want to look at the popular vote or whatever, he won by like 1% there. Okay, I think it was like 200,000 votes. That's how much he won the popular vote by. Which, to be fair, is he won that popular vote like way harder than, you know, even like the Hillary, 2016 election. And it just goes to show that Kamala's campaign was so bad. It was even worse than the Hillary campaign. Even worse. And I don't even, like, I couldn't even, before the election happened, I couldn't even imagine that being possible. I couldn't even imagine that Democrats could create a worse campaign than the 2016 Hillary versus Trump campaign. But they fucking did it. They fucking did it, man. How did you do that?
Red for Republican.
I do not
The reason why
understand.
Trump won the election by such a wide margin is because he actually has common sense, and the other political parties in America are fucking retard losers. They are. They really are. They're gay-theist retards. The ultimate combo. Yes, men can be women, and women can be men, and men can have multiple
Trump
genders,
is
and women can have
playing
multiple genders.
5D
There are also
chess.
women
He's
with
so
two genders.
smart.
They can all sit together
So
and compete
smart,
together
bro.
and be in prison together and have sports together and go to the bathroom together. It's all good. Transgender for everyone. All right, like, dude, when you are literally muddying the waters of like basic humanity and reality and biology just to push some fucking satanic pedophile agenda or whatever the fuck is going on in the government, I don't know, bro. That's all I have to say. When Trump comes in,
trans people are pedophiles. They're transing our kids. They're transing our children.
Wow, he really came up with that.
We
all
have
by
to
himself,
protect the
didn't he?
children.
Like how that was defined
I
by
hate
everyone
you,
forever.
man.
You know?
I hate you.
Now the irony here is,
I really do.
The irony here is the only people supporting Gavin Newsom right now are the people on the far right, because obviously Trump is controlled by the Jews, and the people on the far left, well, because obviously Trump is controlled by the Jews and bad, and therefore, well, Gavin Newsom's anti-Trump vocally, so we like him now because zero thought required.
As over in Florida, this trucker takes an illegal left turn on the highway, blocking all the lanes, causing a fatal collision, with the New York Post revealing the crash that killed 30 was caused by an illegal individual. And on the DHS's official reporting incident, they stated they attempted to use an official use only access point. And although he had no legal right to be in the country, California still issued him a commercial driver's license.
Yeah, that's an enemy of the people. It's treason. It's fucking treason. You're taking illegal people invading our country and giving them the ability to live, to get employed, to drive, to endanger the lives of our people. Fuck this shit. Like, I'm telling you, these are the enemies of our country. These are the enemies of the people.
Operating a 40-ton, 18-wheel truck, as he should have been sent home, but remained because he was afraid to return to India.
If you got here kind of late in the video, I would really like for you to watch when I upload this video tomorrow to my YouTube channel. Please watch the beginning of it, because, like, I don't know about you, but like I've driven a lot. I've driven probably more than the average American, probably. I think I drive about as much as the average American, but I do spend a lot of time on interstates in particular. I drive probably about 15,000 miles a year on average. That's like the average, I think, for Americans. But anyway, I do drive on interstates, I think, more than most people. And I've driven around semi-trucks a lot. And they have put my life in danger more than anyone else, okay? And it's because it is difficult to drive a semi-truck. It is, I acknowledge that. It's a lot harder to drive a semi-truck and keep everybody on the road safe around you than it is to drive, a regular car and keep everybody on the road around you safe. And that's just the way it is, okay? But anyway, I think it could be better. I agree with that. It's not because of fucking immigrants, man. Immigrants aren't just like these stupid, bumbling fucking morons that don't know how to drive semi-trucks, that are incapable, and like the evil communist left is like handing out CDLs to them because they don't want to be racist or whatever. Okay, the reality is that education sucks. Commercial driving education sucks, just like all other education. And that's why, okay? That's why. They're just, like, all truck drivers, pretty much, are stupid, okay? I'm sorry if you're a truck driver. Like, I'm not smarter than you, okay? I'm a dumb person, too. I'm probably even dumber than you. I can't fucking drive a semi-truck. I can't do that shit. I'd kill someone as well. Okay, I'd fucking kill someone if I drove a semi-truck. But, like, that's just the reality. Like, most of them are fucking dumb as rocks, and they have almost killed me multiple times. And I was telling a story about that earlier in this video. And guess what? The guy that was driving that almost killed me, 99% chance he wasn't a fucking immigrant, okay? He just wasn't. Okay, because most truck drivers, I think, are American citizens, or at least legal immigrants. Okay, they have to be to get, like, it is highly uncommon for an illegal immigrant, an undocumented immigrant, to obtain one of these licenses. I'm not saying that it didn't happen, okay, that it has never happened. There seems to be evidence that it has, but it's just not common, okay? And yet, semi-truck drivers still seem to be putting people in danger routinely. It's almost like it has nothing to do with them being fucking
The
brown.
fact that this was completely avoidable is compounded by the idea that this is a much larger issue than anybody knew about, as terrible policies in liberal states like California are even putting people in danger in conservative states like Florida. It's interesting how only local outlets and right-leaning media seems to highlight this horrible story. But even
Let's look at the top stories. All right, we got the New York Post, we got Fox.
Yeah, I wonder why the right-wing media hyperfixates on a brown person killing people on accident. I wonder, with their negligence. I wonder why right-wing media does that. Yeah, that's a real head-scratcher, man.
Fox,
I don't know.
TV. It's all right-leaning stories. For some reason, this is not interesting if you are leftist and trying to push a narrative that actually having people illegal in our country is a good thing. But yeah, this is a very, very unfortunate reality blast for you.
only local outlets and right-leaning media seems to highlight this horrible story. But even places like super left Reddit is having discussions about this, attempting to be objective, with the top comment from r/truckers being about someone experiencing the same exact thing.
The leftists are getting fatigue, aren't they? Interesting. I thought the fatigue of illegal immigrants...
Yeah, look at this Redditor comment about how he had a similar experience with a brown person. Yeah, who fucking cares, man? Who fucking cares? We are talking about anecdotal experiences, and there is no evidence to even corroborate this person's story. So who knows if they're even telling the truth? And furthermore, it's a fucking Reddit post. It's a fucking Reddit, but, like, who cares about this?
It's a right-wing problem, but it turns out it's a everyone problem.
Why does it matter?
Because your country is becoming a shithole. Yeah, that's what happens. Import third world, become third world. Listen, it's basic math.
America,
Spiraling
third
into a
world.
conversation about how that specific country has different driving norms, and how they have 1% of the world's vehicles, but 10% of its deaths.
Yeah, in my opinion, that just proves that we should not be giving Indian people driver's license unless they go through a thorough check. Because, again, I've said this before, I'll say it again, not all cultures are the same. This is going to shock a lot of people to hear, but not all cultures are the same. When you import a lot of people from Somalia, all right, and it turns out that, surprisingly, rape was not illegal in Somalia until 2018, perhaps it's a culture that is more conducive to commit specific crimes than other cultures. Because, well, their parents didn't teach them it was bad. In fact, they didn't even think it was bad. Some of them probably still don't think it's bad. Some of them are probably calling rape laws woke in Somalia right now. There are probably some right-wing guy in Somalia sitting there being like, all those wokies want us to stop raping our women. Dog, I shit you not. When you import people with a set of values that is so drastically different than your own, shit might happen. Like, it's super obvious to anyone that wants to think about it for more than a second, but you don't want to get canceled, obviously. You want to always say the right thing. I always say the right thing. All cultures are equal. They're all the same. None are better than others. Import all the illegals. There are people just like me and you.
I've already talked about this.
Stolen land. Like, dude, the virtue signaling knows no bounds.
Which seems like a mature, objective
Why,
conversation that isn't common
if you're
in
wondering
rights,
why I
we
was
consider how much
silent
of their interaction-
during all that racist shit that he was saying just now, you can watch my video from like literally, I think it was 2 days ago. Yeah, he was talking about this. What he was talking about there was specifically what he was talking about in a previous video where a Somalian man like attempted to, or no, a Somali man kidnapped a child, and you can probably figure what else happened. But anyway, just go watch the video. Fucking Somalians are not terrible fucking people. It's not like that. It just isn't. Okay, and furthermore, he just doesn't understand what the leftist perspective is like most conservatives, okay, he doesn't understand the leftist perspective, particularly on culture. Okay, nobody is saying that all cultures are the same and equal.
Are
Fuck
actually
you.
bots, which that post looks
Shut the
100%
fuck up.
generated by AI, with every single ChatGPT detector saying so, and that's the only way Reddit will accidentally tell the truth. And again, this proves absolutely nothing about foreign truckers as a whole. But why is it so difficult to have this discussion in the first place?
Because they label you as a bad guy, they label you as the racist. And again, this is the Gavin Newsom policy. To shut down and shut up, right? They ban you everywhere, they censor you everywhere, they censor the conversation. Every time you engage in normal conversations, they will immediately blast you and flame you as some ultra bigot, super bigot. The flaggots come out of everywhere, right? The people with flags in their bios, I call them flaggots. It's my new slur for them, right? So the flaggots pop out of everywhere, and they call you racist, and they call you Hitler, and they call you a fascist Nazi, and that's the entire talking point. It's like, oh, you're transphobic, so you're automatically bad. It's like, yeah, I just don't want people with penises to be raping women. You are a Nazi bigot retard, and it's not working anymore. The conversations are becoming more open because they are losing their power.
With the second most upvoted comment to being about how this same thing happened in Indiana, giving them certain feelings about foreign truckers. With the top reply to that being from someone sharing that same race, having the same feelings.
Why are we talking about that race? Doesn't that make us racist? Oh my, are we all just secretly racist? Or, hear me out, hang on, hear me out, hang on. Are people actually different? Are people that grew up in different cultures, different sets of values? Are they?
No, man, we're not all secretly racist. You are openly racist, and you think that everyone else around you is secretly racist, when really it's just your audience that is secretly racist, and you're saying the quiet part out loud for them. Okay, but anyway, no, we're not all racist. Okay, we don't all think like you. Crazy concept, I know. People do be disagreeing with you, genuinely.
And not everyone is the same. This giant melting pot hodgepodge. Pretty weird.
Because they make them all look bad.
Yeah,
and as somebody from an ethnicity also known for being notoriously bad drivers, I understand where he's coming from. Most of us don't see this story and think,
oh, you know who the really bad drivers are? Fucking Mississippians. Or is that what they're called? I don't even know. I don't know. Mississippi. People from Mississippi. Statistically the worst drivers in the fucking country. Maybe on the planet. I don't know. They are god awful though. Every time I see one on the road, every time I see that license plate, I'm careful. I'm cautious. Okay, and for good reason. And you know, I don't know. It's not their fault. I'm not saying that they're just like dumb and that's just the way it is or whatever. Like it's once again education. Mississippi has some of the worst educational outcomes in the actually no, it has the worst educational outcomes in the entire country. And our education system all over the country is pretty dog shit. So, like, Mississippi is the worst of the worst when it comes to education. It's unsurprising that they have bad drivers.
All foreign-born CDL holders, we just want to know how someone...
It's awful education, but not sure it's number one. Nah, it is. It is. Alabama sometimes will beat them in some categories, but it changes year over year. Like, when I was going to school in Alabama, I remember, like, year over year, sometimes we would be number one worst in, like, reading. And so then our teachers would be like, okay, like, we're doing a reading initiative. We're trying to get kids to read more. And then our reading scores would go up, and we would beat Mississippi. But then, like, we would be number one worst in math. And that's what it was like. It was always something new. We were always doing something worse than Mississippi. But Mississippi, just across the board, is like number one worst in all educational like categories, all divisions. I thought it was Oklahoma. No, I'm pretty sure they're like top 5 worst. Feel like I remember that, but they could be number 2. I don't know. I don't even know where they are. I feel like Utah would be number 2 though. I agree it's in the top 5, but I swore they said it's not number 1. I don't know. Look it up. Look it up, man. Fact check.
Doesn't understand the basics of our traffic laws was legally allowed to get a commercial driver's license.
See,
I'm trying to finish this video right now.
Shouldn't be allowed to drive because their culture has more driving accidents. But dude, if they're illegal in the country and you're giving them a fucking license,
their culture has more.
Okay, like it is absolutely insanity.
Oh my god,
it's insanity. It's crazy. And like they should be overregulated of everything. Yes, that's right. You know what I am telling you to do? You know.
An immigrant with a CDL is like a chimp with a machine gun.
What I'm telling you to do racially profile people. We got to bring back
yeah,
racial
man.
profiling. I've gotten way too based lately, but racial profiling is in fact based. I've decided. All right, I've changed. I'm gonna get murdered. Whatever. Who cares? Let them come.
Yeah, I mean, he's framing this like it's a joke, but it's not a joke. He wants this shit. Okay, I know he does. Wait, I gotta be classy and change my persona. Well, do please continue with the video, mate. I will. Oh, I'm working on it. I'm
racial
working
profiling,
on it.
is actually based. That's the new that's the new
Finish
that's the new
it.
meme.
and be given an 18-wheeler. So in the future, we can prevent this same thing from occurring again. No one is suggesting racism as a solution, but they'll always use the potential of that to deflect from real criticisms of a broken system. As the next top comment on Reddit was them researching this specific driver.
Should I buy Uber Eats or save my money? You know what I'm gonna say, man. Save your money. Save your money. Go. You can just you could just. Is there a grocery store near you? You could walk to. Buy some groceries. Make some food. I would recommend shakshuka. It doesn't take that long. It's a pretty good recipe. It's one that I tried recently. And it's just it's very versatile. You can just throw anything in there. All it is tomato sauce. First you brown some onions, and then throw in some peppers, and then right at the end some garlic, and then once that's all thoroughly cooked, then you throw in just a tomato sauce, tomato paste, whatever you want to make. The easiest thing to do is to just buy whole tomatoes and crush them. Throw that in there, and then let that simmer for a while, and then once it's been simmering for 5 to 8 minutes, you'll poach some eggs inside of it, and you poach eggs in the tomato sauce. It's very good, and then top it with some cheese. A lot of people use feta cheese. I think any white cheese will work. Anyway, then and you can put some parsley or cilantro on top too. I like that. I like doing that. You should make a cooking channel. It's 2 miles too far for me. I probably should stop. My pecs are getting a little big. Will push-ups make them smaller? No, but they'll make them more firm and muscular. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Hit the gym, bro. Yeah, get swole. I would start a cooking channel, but I'm not that good at cooking. I don't know. I'm also not very passionate about it. I just I try to make the cheapest food possible. I just want tasty food that is cheap. Okay, I want what everyone wants, and it's possible. It's possible to do it. It takes work. It takes a lot of work, but the information that I have in my brain is already out there. It's already on YouTube channels. I'll send you a video.
He shares the same
I watched a video recently of a guy that bought. He made a video about how to tear down a chicken. You can go to a grocery store, buy a whole chicken. A lot of people don't do that because it's kind of gross. It's kind of an intense process. But once you get used to it, once you do it just once or twice, it's just it's very easy to remember, and you can do it very quickly. And you get a lot of chicken for very little money. And you can use the bones to make broth. Or not broth, but stock, which you can then use to make broth. And very good stuff. How are you so small? Is it genetics or metabolism? I don't really think I am very small, me personally. I'm not on average. I don't think I'm a small person. I'm certainly taller than most people on the fucking planet. But anyway, I'm kind of scrawny right now because I just don't work out. I stopped eating because I had my own apartment and I was paying for it, and I couldn't really pay for food all the time, so I just wouldn't eat. And I like I said, I cook for myself. I don't really eat out too much. When I mean small, I don't mean as an insult. Just meant you seem in shape. I'm actually not in shape. I am underweight, if anything. I don't know if I'm underweight. If I am, I think it's very I'm on the edge of being underweight versus regular healthy weight. But yeah, I mean, if anything, I'm underweight. I'm on I'm on the tail end of the BMI scale or whatever. Nah, underweight is better than overweight. No, that's not true. That's not true. Underweight, it comes with a litany of health problems. Statistically. And people who are underweight have actually similar health problems to people who are overweight. they have problems with circulation and their arteries and shit and blood pressure. It's a struggle. It's a struggle, man. Don't say it's not true. I will. My understanding, and I'm not a medical professional, okay, so don't take it from me. Like, do your own research, but no, my understanding is that it is equally as unhealthy to be underweight as it is to be overweight. You don't have any of those traits. You can't know that by looking at me, just because I haven't mentioned it. Now, you're correct. Like, to my knowledge, I don't have any health problems, knock on wood. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I could, I could be walking around with high blood pressure, and I just don't realize, because I don't check my blood pressure, man. I don't ever do that. You look healthy? Well, people can look healthy and not be healthy. It's crazy, I know.
It's a guy that 4 years ago used his truck to collapse a bridge
No! They just looked up the name of a bad driver and they got his cousin who also did the same shit. This is why racial profiling.
And, once again, I also want to mention that, talking about health, I'm not a healthy person. Like, I've been vaping. I've definitely cut back, and I'm better about it now. Actually, I'm going to hit the vape right now. But I have been vaping for years, and it's not good for you. I don't advocate for it. I say as I hit the vape. But seriously though, I don't recommend you do it. It's bad for you. I need to quit. Yada yada. So if vaping is bad, then why do you do it? There is a chemical called nicotine. It's a psychoactive substance that is pretty addictive. Relatively, it's not nearly as addictive as heroin or even alcohol and cocaine, but it is a very addictive chemical, and I like nicotine. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I really like it. A lot of people do. It is also a carcinogen, so even if you were just taking pure nicotine without all the vapor or without the tobacco, it's still cancerous. Just curious, what made you try it? He is religious. What made me try vaping was people around me were doing it. I thought that it would be, I'd try it. I thought I'd try it. I remember the first time I did it, I felt the effects of nicotine, and I was like, wow, this is very pleasant. Because it is. It's a very pleasant feeling, but it doesn't last. And then I didn't do it for a while. I didn't become addicted to it immediately. That's not really how it works. But when I got a job and I started making money, I had money to buy vapes, and I started doing that. Oh, I didn't see your question. Are you religious? Yes, I am religious. I am a Christian. Christianity, yeah, we love Christianity here on the J-Star broadcast. Okay, it's epic, and famously, Christians never do anything wrong. They are great people. They're great people. Anyway, what was I talking about? I was talking about vaping. Okay. Vaping is bad for you. I specifically tell people not to do it. It's a terrible, terrible thing. It makes you feel like shit. It destroys your body. It's bad. Okay, it could kill me. I'm not gonna lie. It could kill me. I've certainly felt pain in my chest from vaping. Okay, it's just, that's how it is, and it sucks. I need to stop. I really like nicotine, though. I really do. Which denomination? I don't like talking about this, okay? I don't like talking about specifically my denomination because I don't have one. I'm non-denom, and me personally, I don't like non-denomination Christians. I think they're fucking annoying, okay? And anyway, non-denomination is almost like a denomination in and of itself, and I think that kind of the whole point to Christianity is to find community with other Christians and to form churches. Church is said to be heaven on earth. God instructs us to build churches and to form these communities. And I want to be a part of that, but and I've said this before, I feel like I can't, because there aren't very many like-minded Christians like myself. Not even, like, I am not even agreeable with Christians, with any group of Christians, enough to join their church, to join their community. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. I disagree with them too much. And and specifically, it's not about my my political leanings. It is specifically about my interpretation of Scripture. Like, I just disagree with most Christians about the interpretation of Scripture, and like I have a different interpretation from them. I'm not like a Unitarian Universalist. I'm not one of those. And, you know, I think that like, if you want to call it a denomination, I personally wouldn't call it that, but, like, unironically, Unitarian Universalists are the most based, like, Christian identifying people that identify themselves as Christians, because they are so progressive. But I can't join them because I once again, I disagree with them about certain parts of Scripture. Specifically with them, like, Unitarian Universalists are, like, they're heretics, okay? I like them. I think they're cool people. They are heretics, though. I wasn't being a dick, just curious about which denomination. Should the USA stay majority Christian or I'm assuming no. I think that, so this is a complicated question, and the reason why is because when you say America is majority Christian, I agree with that. But I don't see America as a Christian nation that upholds Christian values. It's just not. Like, we're bombing, we're killing, we're pillaging. That's what we're doing. That's not very Christian-like, in my opinion. Okay, that's why my main thing is to talk about that and to stop it. Okay, like, I want it to stop. That's what I never shut up about. So, anyway, should America be majority Christian? The answer is, I don't really care. I don't care who's a Christian and who's not. Clearly, it isn't better necessarily. Like, just because there are a majority Christians in America doesn't make us a Christian nation. It just doesn't. It just doesn't at all. Okay? Like, America should not become more Christian, because I think that has only exacerbated the issues that we've been seeing. The Christian nationalist movement has only made shit worse. Okay? Like, this is why I talk about the secular ideology. Okay? Secularism is good. I don't hear enough Christians saying that, because they think that, like, secularism is atheism or whatever. They think that secularist thought is like anti-religion or whatever, and it's not. It's not. But are conservatives really true Christians, or just use it to brainwash? Well, you know, that is where I will get a lot of shit from my fellow Christians, because, yeah, I think they are fake Christians, man. If you are like a MAGA conservative and you think you're a Christian, like, I find that laughable. Because MAGA, Donald Trump is a convicted rapist. He is a highly likely a pedophile. There is a significant amount of evidence that points to him directly being involved with Epstein and doing pedophilia. There's just no way around that. I'm not saying he definitely is a pedophile, but the fact that we're even talking about this is like a sign of the times. You know, that's my narrative here. And yeah, I mean, that's once again very un-Christian. Like, do people really believe Trump is a Christian? I don't know. I can only speculate what is going on inside the minds of my fellow Christians. I don't know. I can't read their minds. I'd say that I think they just don't care. They just don't care. They don't care about actual Christian values. They don't. Or their interpretation of what Christian values are is so warped and like twisted that they think Trump is like a good Christian man. I don't know. Like maybe they think like oppressing women or like raping women is like actually a good Christian thing. I don't know. I don't know, man. I mean, from my point of view, I don't see how anybody could genuinely believe that after reading the Bible, after reading Scripture. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, even the most misogynistic shit in the Bible wasn't even that bad. It was pretty bad, okay? Like, Paul said some misogynistic shit, don't get me wrong. But, there's just, no way you can look at what Trump has done, what he's been convicted of, and be like, yeah, he's, so Christian, he's upholding Christian values or whatever. Yeah, you can't. Are Jews the chosen people? They are just great with money? What? Yeah, I wouldn't say that, no. Anyway, so what you are asking me, Jews being the chosen people, that is a question that is highly contested among Christians, and I suspect that's why you're asking. But in short, if you're asking me as a Christian, the answer is yeah, I think that Jews were God's chosen people. That's pretty clearly defined. Depending on your views on continuity, you will have different interpretations of this. That continuity is what all of this centers around. And anyway, me personally, I don't think I've ever actually talked about this before. Nobody's ever asked me that. But I think that the Israel, the people, not the Jewish supremacist ethno-state, but Israel as it is in the Old Testament, went on to become the church. Okay, so the people, the chosen people of the Old Testament, went on to become Christians. We went to, Christianity was originally, and people talk about this shit all the time, mostly anti-Christians or or whatever the fuck you want to call them. But Christianity was a cult. It was an offshoot of Judaism. Okay, Jewish people were awaiting the Messiah. Christians said, good news, he's here. That's it. Okay, and anyway, yeah. In short, I think that Israel was the chosen people of God. Okay, it was the nation. It was God's people. Yes. That being said, I don't approve of the current nation state of Israel, the ethno-state, the Jewish supremacist ethno-state, which kills and oppresses Palestinians. Some think they are, some don't. So what about the rest? We're just chopped liver? Yeah, I don't know about that. Look, when it comes to Jewish people, having money or whatever, being at the top of society, Jewish communities are tight-knit. They uplift each other. They help each other. I talk about this all the time. It's not like Jewish people are the only ethnic group that have, accumulated some capital within some of the members of that group. Okay, they're not the only ones. They are. That being said, Jewish people have been highly successful, and they're many of them are. They encourage each other to pursue high skill wage jobs like doctors, lawyers, and bankers. And the reason that they did this is because originally, in our society and in Western society as a whole, in Europe, they weren't allowed to enter the noble class. They weren't allowed to become nobles because they were Jewish. So they chose to uplift each other and become doctors and lawyers and bankers. And that's what happened, okay? They were locked out of the capitalist class, the ruling class. And like any other ethnic group that is in that situation, they made smart choices. and they chose high skill waged jobs. So they don't control the media and Hollywood. I retract it. No, they do not control the media and Hollywood. Okay, yes, there are Jewish people that work in Hollywood, that work in the media. Of course there are. And once again, Jewish people typically pick high wage, high skill jobs, and there are a lot of those in media. So they're good at what they do. Okay, they are. But anyway, I don't. If you're going to tell me that like Jewish people control the world and it's like no, that's not fucking true. That is an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory that has been around for literally hundreds of years. It's probably the oldest conspiracy theory that exists. I just noticed you shaved your head. I like that look. Thank you. Yeah, it does look nice. Kind of look like a football player. What are your thoughts on the claims that Jews are the ones that killed Jesus? It's sort of accurate. Look, obviously it's the Romans that fucking killed Jesus. Okay, they crucified him. Okay, it was them. Okay, it's not that Jewish people did. Look, Jesus was highly unpopular with Jews. They saw him as a false prophet. Okay, people that were Jewish that lived during the time. That practiced Judaism and participated in the church, they saw him as a false prophet. Okay, obviously, because he was claiming to be the Messiah. He was claiming that he was the Messiah. Okay, that was it. He faced a lot of persecution from the Romans and from Jewish people, of course. But it was mainly from the Romans, and the main gripe that, like, you'll notice if you read Scripture, Jesus didn't really have a lot of beef with Jews. Okay, he liked Jewish people. He was the king of the Jews. He tried to sway them. Okay, he tried to he instructed his apostles to spread the good news to other Jewish people. That was it. Okay, the main beef that Jesus had was with Romans and Roman society as a whole, and specifically, and I talk about this all the time, the hierarchical structure of Roman society during that time. Okay, that's it. Is it really a bad thing to say I wouldn't mind it versus what my people are labeled? It's harmful no matter what. I mean, it's just like, it's the same thing as like the Asian stereotype, the model minority. Okay, is that preferable treatment over the way black people are treated? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I genuinely. But it's still harmful. It doesn't really matter because it's negative either way, man. It's not a competition. Okay, this is what conservatives call the oppression Olympics. Am I more oppressed than this group of people? Maybe. But Jewish people are oppressed. Jewish people have crazy conspiracy theories to deal with, and it's the same thing with the model minority thing with Asians. That seems like on the surface it seems like better treatment or whatever. It's still wrong. It's still bad. It's still harmful to Asian people. So was Martin Luther King like another Jesus too, like the black version? Yeah, I think he was a lot like Jesus, unironically, certainly more than most people. Jesus was a man that us Christians allege he lived a perfect life. He lived he followed Mosaic law perfectly. Okay, that's it. And the goal of all Christians is to live like he did, to live a perfect life, to live like Jesus did. And it wasn't just that Jesus followed Mosaic law perfectly, like he did. That's not what makes him as great as he is. Yeah, and that's another long conversation. But Martin Luther King Jr. certainly lived a more Jesus-like life than most Americans. Okay, for real. You are so trolley-roly coded, probably. I don't know what that means. I don't know am I out of the loop? No, it must be the kids that are It must be the kids who are wrong.
Arkansas, who also
Listen,
know what that
man, if
means
I go
either.
to the bank and my banker is named
I might look it
Shackelberg,
up
I
later.
know shit's about to get good.
Oh yeah, trolling.
connected to a
Yeah, okay.
California-based trucking company. But the X replies found that it's a common
No,
name,
Donut's
and
not
oddly,
trolling.
Very
He's
common
not
in the
trolling. He's
trucking
just
industry.
asking
Now, no one is
questions.
accused
No shot that specifically people that are coming from a place that has 10 times the amount of car accidents than most countries, they have a stranglehold on the trucking industry in America. What are we doing, guys? What are we fucking doing?
using every single one of those guys as being bad
source?
drivers. It's
Of
just
course
They have
not.
a
Only 10 times
stranglehold?
more likely than if they're not those guys. You know what I'm saying?
unfortunate that this
What?
inconvenient information causes left-leaning media outlets to completely ignore the story, as it's difficult to be objective when you're
I'm not going to report on when Indian people get into driving accidents because they might make people India-phobic. Now, I like Indian people. I think Indian people are like super nice.
I'm sorry he
But
was hurtful to you.
realistically, life exists.
Donut.
not
that
allowed
sucks.
to come to certain conclusions. As shockingly, there are huge amounts of
I
American
don't know.
truck
I
drivers
don't.
that do not
Calling
speak
you a
English.
troll isn't that bad. I've had people call me a troll. Like, actually, all the fucking time. When I'm literally being genuine and I'm trying to communicate something with someone, they will just like say I'm trolling, and I'm like, okay, all right, sure.
Almost every single day.
Holy
Alright.
shit! Most American truck drivers don't speak English. What do we do? Dude, and then it's like, oh, what do you mean? What do you mean? Getting illegal people out of the country will definitely not be increasing jobs. Absolutely not. Americans have a hard time getting a job. Well, what can you do? That's just the economy, am I right? Deporting illegals, that won't help.
Wait for the cops to get here.
Yeah, it
Oh my
won't.
god.
Wait for the cops to get here because you hit those mailboxes.
So Trump decided to address
I've
this.
already talked about that
Department of
too, but
Transportation to include English
yeah,
literacy.
deporting illegals is not going to magically create jobs that Americans can have. Okay, what they're going to do is they're going to deport people, and then the ones that are left who are not deported are going to be living in fear, and they are going to do the work of their deported coworkers, and that's it. That's it. They're not going to replace them with Americans, bro. They're just fucking not. They want one person to do the job of 10 people. That's the point. That's the point of this.
This is a big problem in the trucking community that
We should not be having people working for our country.
You just have to know, are chocolate donuts superior to others? Why is that your name? Do you think we are living in the end times? I actually had this conversation with a Christian the other day, and the answer is fuck no, we're not living in the end times. No, we're not. We're not. I'm not convinced, okay? And you're never gonna convince me, probably. Okay, as Christians, do we believe in the second coming? Yes, okay, it will happen. I think it will, okay? I know other people don't, whatever, okay? You don't believe it. That's fine. That's fine. Do I think it is about to happen? What the fuck? No. No, and if it did, it wouldn't be what you think it is, okay? It just wouldn't. It just wouldn't. Like, the reason that people think that the end times are coming is because the prophecy has been fulfilled, okay? And the prophecy has been fulfilled. It has been fulfilled for hundreds of years, okay? Like, it can happen at any time. I'm aware of that. It's just unlikely that it will happen soon, okay? I don't think that Jesus will come back until our work is done here. And it just isn't. Or he would have come back already. Okay, that's it. And I am aware that there are some crazy evangelicals that have been pushing this Israel shit, and they are specifically doing it because they think that they are, like, fulfilling the prophecy to make Jesus come back sooner. Like, we want Israel because we want all the Jews to be in the Holy Land so that something can happen and Jesus will come down from the heavens, and that will definitely happen. And it's just, no, man. No, you can't force this shit. You can't, that's not how it fucking works. No Christian has ever fucking believed that in the entire history of our church, which has existed since, it has formally existed since, 348. The year 348. Our church has existed, and we've never tried to push Jews into the Holy Land for a reason. Okay, because you can't force this shit. You just can't. What the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are we doing? What, sending Jewish people to the Holy Land? Why are we doing that? Why are we doing that? Maybe it has something to do with our, entire economy, which is built on selling people weapons and starting conflicts to sell people weapons. I wonder.
Okay,
I
that
wonder.
don't speak the language, that are driving, that are reading signs, street signs, that don't speak the language.
Glazed donuts are the best. There's a reason why I have this name, but it's a bit of TMI. I don't think you want to know. Trust me. Yeah. Yeah,
Like, what are we doing?
we figured,
You
Donut.
might not know.
But it's okay. We still love
just
it.
started to issue tickets to
Still
truckers that can't speak English. Well, how will that citation
Yeah.
stop them from driving dangerously, or at the very least, can they even comprehend what they're being ticketed for? And how did it get so bad that people that don't even know how to read street signs are allowed to get behind the wheel of these humongous
Fantastic
vehicles?
question. Gruesome Newsom.
It's places like hyper-left California that consistently hold progressive values over the safety of their citizens.
That's it, baby.
That is true, by the way. Alabama is doing that, and it's, once again, Nazi shit. This is Nazi shit. Issuing citations for people who can't speak English is so monumentally fucked up, especially when people who can't speak English that live in this country are usually living in, like, they are living in abject poverty. They can't afford these tickets, these citations. It's disgusting, okay? It's the law for thee, but not for me. That's
More
it.
genders and fire hydrants. That's how it works.
So
Honorable
Jews
Security
rebuilding
Agent
wait.
putting California-
So Jews rebuilding the temple, you don't think has anything to do with end times? No. I don't. I don't look, I don't really care what Jews are doing in Israel at all. Except for the genocide. I care about that. And I do. I care about the genocide. I want them to stop it. I want them to stop the genocide in Israel. That's all I want. I want them to end the occupation and stop the genocide. Most importantly, stop the genocide, though. I could give a fuck if they're building temples. Okay, I don't care. I think it's... I don't talk about this very often because I want to keep the spotlight should stay on Palestinians and Palestinians only. But I'll mention this briefly. What they do to the Christians in Nazareth, it is also fucked up. It's also fucked up. Like, I acknowledge that. Okay, and it's just that, like, I just don't care about it as much. The persecution that they do to Christians is so, like light. So it is so, like, it's peaceful compared to what they are doing to the evil terrorist Arabs that live there. Okay, like what they do to Christians is just like a minutia relative to that. But it is real. It does happen. Israel does be doing that to the Christians in Nazareth, and as a result, a lot of the Christians in Nazareth have left. They have fled. They've literally fled from their homes because of what the IDF does to them. Okay, but anyway, let's just keep
Governor
going.
Newsom solely to blame. And since that post, what has Newsom done?
Dude, why
Not
does he
not
always
just
look
the IDF, by the way, but actual Israeli citizens.
like he's crying? Okay, is this guy supposed to be some sort of epic leader because he's rich and white? Like, what are we doing? Like, dude, this dude he's a bitch. He's a huge bitch.
Complained about Donald Trump, then complained about Donald Trump
That's what he
again, and then replying to a post comparing him to the future likely Republican candidate for president, which just highlights how J.D. Vance is more of an American everyman compared to the entitled, emotional drama queen that is Newsom. California is issuing...
I'm so glad that normal people see this. All right, I'm so glad that like the hyper extremes on the internet aren't like normal human beings. Like if they were, we would be living in fucking apocalypse land.
Yeah, I kind of agree with him. You know, the J.D. Vance from Humble Beginnings versus Gavin Newsom, Nepo Baby. He's right. Like it's a good look for Vance, and I fucking hate that because J.D. Vance is literally so much worse than Gavin Newsom. Like, I don't like. I said this earlier. I already said this earlier. I don't like Gavin Newsom. He's a liberal. He's annoying. I don't like him. He's my understanding is he's a Zionist sympathizer, if not just a full-on Zionist. But anyway, J.D. Vance literally is collaborating with Palantir to spy and keep a database of information on every single American that is alive right now. Like, I just, like, people need to understand this. People need to read this and, like, understand it and not just go off of the optics of, like, J.D. Vance coming from humble fucking beginnings. Like, he is an evil piece of shit.
I really do. I think it's just a hyper.
And he's doing the Patriot Act on crack. He's doing the cracked out version of the Patriot Act.
Now again,
it's fucking
the
crazy.
thing is, like, I get where a lot of people come from with a lot of takes, but like pro Newsom over Vance, if you're like a right wing guy, is actually retarded. Like actually certifiable retarded.
No,
Bro,
not really. Like Newsom, like that's the thing. Like conservatives, real trad conservatives are starting to have more things in common with leftist than the new, alt-right wave of conservatism. Like, think about it. Reagan, a trad conservative icon. He said immigrants are the what did he say? He said they're like, I believe he said they basically they're a great virtue of our nation. Like immigration is a good thing in our country. He said, and I quote, "We are a nation of immigrants." Ronald Reagan said that. The new alt-right is a lot more racist with it. They're a lot more anti-immigration. And I think that a lot of Republicans are like, wow. Like, this sucks. This shit sucks.
You can't hate the Jews more than you like your own people, okay? If you want to hate the Jews, that's your
So it's
God-given
not
right as an
surprising.
American. All right, listen. But for the love of God, don't hate Jews more than you love America, okay, please? All right? Common ground here, okay? Listen, this is just me opening a bridge to all the Hitlers. Come on, Hitlers, let's work together on this.
Death machines, the people that can't even read street signs, and their governor seems more focused on reminiscing on his rich boy roots and designer scarves than actually addressing it. As we just uncovered how absolutely every American that drives on our highways is in danger due to California's negligence. And the main person that should fix this is too preoccupied in his delusional campaign
That's
for
right.
president.
And his campaign, by the way, is well, it is delusional, to be honest. But the craziest part is the campaign is based on nothing. It's just anti-Trump. It's just anti-Trump. They've learned nothing. They've learned fucking nothing. It's unbelievable.
And what makes this worse is you likely only know about this situation from social media or a low-budget news meme commentary account called Decoy
You might have only heard of this from a blue retard animated-looking motherfucker on the internet. You might not have even heard about this shit.
Voice, as I don't like covering these tragic events to try to plug something stupid like a YouTube channel, but when they're surrounded by a larger social issue that needs to be addressed, it's actually important to talk about them when you know the media likely won't.
He's right. He's right. It's sad, but he's so right. Definitely, I'll be linking Decoy Voice in the description. Subscribe to him. Subscribe to me. Up those numbers. We up those numbers. All right, I've upped those numbers personally. You should also up those numbers. Hit that sub. Let's do it, baby. Let's be the voice of reason on the internet. That was
I'm not going to do that.
as well. Don't think I beat the retard allegations. We're all retards here, all right? But we are retards.
Once again, I won't be subscribing to you, Nuxanor, but I will be watching. I will be watching intently.
We are fighting for justice, okay? And I will make enemies with anybody, as you can tell. And if you disagree with all of my takes, super fine, okay? You have no reason to agree with anything that I say. You have no reason
I really don't want to clean up, but I need motivation. Why does depression make you a sloth? How do I cure it? Depression, I don't know. I don't think there really is a cure for it. But that doesn't mean that it's hopeless. Okay? You're okay, Donut. You'll be okay. The cure to depression is to find meaning in your life with friends, with family. And I'm always here to talk, Donut, if you need to. You can hit me up on Discord. I saw that video you sent me the other day. It was crazy. Can I call in once? For sure. Yeah. I don't think you should call in, bro. I don't know if that's the answer. I don't know. I do not want you to be financially stressed. If you think that it's okay, then I don't see why not. I know I've told you not to call out before, but I just don't want you to be stressed out about your money, about your finances. I know that you don't have a lot of family that can help you out if you ever need it. So I don't want that to happen. Can I ask you some work-related questions? Of course. Of course. I will be right back, though. I'm back. I hit 90 days. I'm eligible for enrollment for benefits after 60 days. Should I sign up for retirement? They said Social Security isn't enough. I don't know if I want to pitch in money that I barely have. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Should you start a retirement account? I am not a financial advisor. Me personally, I do not typically sign up for retirement accounts with whatever company I work at, because then when you stop working there, it kind of becomes a headache, to get that money back, and whatnot. Like, you have to call them, and you have to ask them. You have to, ask them to do stuff for you, the HR department, and it's just like a whole thing. So anyway, instead, you should consider making your own retirement account and contributing to it at whatever rate you feel most comfortable. Because the thing is, retirement accounts with your employer, there are pros to it, which is that usually they'll match your a certain amount of money. They'll whatever amount you put in up to a certain amount, they will match it, which is great, right? But anyway, then once again you have to deal with when you stop working there, rolling it over into another retirement account or whatever, or taking it out and taking the tax penalties, and nobody wants to do that. So anyway, what I recommend you do is to start your own retirement account and just keep contributing to it. I personally would recommend, and I'm not a financial advisor. You should talk to a financial advisor about this before you make any decisions. There's probably one at your bank that will talk to you for free. But anyway, ask them about a Roth IRA, because the way it works is you put money into this Roth IRA, it's a savings account, and you pay taxes on it when you put it in, and then it accrues interest. But when you take it out, when you retire, you don't have to pay any taxes on it. It doesn't count as taxable income, which basically means that all the interest you generate is tax-free. So a Roth IRA is a popular option. I'm sure that there will be a new meta within just the next few years. I don't know, but that as I understand it, that is the current retirement meta, is to get a Roth IRA, and it's a good kind of account, I think. Anyway,
to hold the same beliefs.
Anyway, we're finishing this video.
And honestly, that's why God made us this way. If God wanted to make homunculus clones, that's what he would have done. He created a lot of different people to figure shit out together. And that's what I'm trying to do. So thanks for being here. I do appreciate all y'all. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Like, subscribe, and this...
I hate you, Nux Taku. You're a real piece of shit. Thank you for making this video. Thank you. I appreciate it. Alright, so, Donut, I hate to do this. I hate to do this when I have like 2 of you in here. But I am going to pause the stream for a few minutes. I need to talk to one of my family members real quick, and I'm also going to get some water, but I will be back. I will be back shortly.